Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cherizy E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer looks at his phone or is generally unaware of what's going on, you drink. If I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. Also, you can make any of us shut the fuck up for 5 minutes for $5. And you can make any of us drink for $1.08, or actually all of us drink for $1.08. And of course, you could just give us money because you love us. Why not? And of course, you can always get 5 full minutes of My Sock Summer for the low price of $50 tonight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was 20 last week and no one took it. So
no one bought it at $20. It was surprising, right?
And honestly, it's tough to shut this guy up. Every day we try and do this show. Every time we do the show, like the clock is ticking down to 0 to start the show. And he's like, this is about the time I want to start a story.
I respect that.
To get you into your story time, My Sock Summer, what are you drinking?
So I started off the night tonight with the new Riff single barrel. It's like 115 proof. So like I just did like one of those, right? Because I don't want to get crazy. I don't want to get too looped before I got to do that first ad read. Now, friend of the 108, good friend, Mr. the Italian. I want to say the Italian stallion. I already fucked it up. I was going to say the Irish mare. You know, Shane Spagnola sent me a little bottle here of Elijah Craig, the straight rye, which I will start off with. And then I have a small batch of Elijah Craig, just regular bottle. I had to take down the fuck you Sal sign because my kids saw it and my daughter started spelling it to the younger one. And she's like, Dad, put this up there. She's like, you can't see it. It's F-U-C. And I was like, I got to throw this shit away. So you've been saved, Sal. I still love you, but fuck you. So
beautiful. That's Beef. What are you drinking?
A lot.
I changed it up tonight, Treasy. I looked through the liquor cabinet. I'm like, what's untouched? What's an untouched bottle in my liquor cabinet? And I saw a bottle of Tito's vodka. So right. I mixed some vodka and soda. And then I also put like some squeezed lime and some squeezed lemon in here. So I got a concoction that will keep me from getting scurvy, but is also absolutely delicious and refreshing. So a little vodka soda plus going on tonight.
Right.
How about you?
You're ready for a long trip at sea, I understand.
Yes. All right. That's what we're going on.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking, Cherizy?
You know, I'm back. I told you guys I had people over and people brought beer. I'm drinking through some beer. I got some Rev Pills, and then I got some Victorias to back that up. So
nice.
It's a wonderful little beer night for me. I made it under 200 pounds in the 108 weight loss finally. I'm going to go right back above it. That's what's happening here.
That's absolutely correct.
Beef, how you doing tonight, buddy?
You know what? I'm pretty good. The last week I had a bunch of things I could banter about, but what caught me, I ingested it finally, and people have been talking about it. Oh, wait a minute, we're getting the $20 right out of the gate trees. Well,
20 ain't it. 20 ain't it.
Oh, that's 50. Right. It's 50. It's 50 this week. 5-0. Too bad.
I literally just said that.
30 more. 30 more.
Like it was a long time ago.
30.
Don't do it.
30 more, kid. 30 more. So anyway.
Hey, drink for that. That was
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Hand. Appreciate you. So I finally ingested it. I finally ingested the Manti Te'o documentary. Now, we were alive adults when the Manti Te'o thing went down, right? So you remember lots of parts of it, but until like getting kind of behind it, I was never sure about how the thing all worked. And then to like hear the inside scoop and all this stuff. And I'm left with 2 questions for you guys in the commenters as we move away from actually the event happening and me watching the documentary. Number 1, do you think that if Manti Te'o would have followed his original urge to go to USC instead of Notre Dame, that he would have fucked Lene? and would have saved his reputation. And also, second question. When MSS was on the West Coast, could he have fucked Lene? Those are my two questions.
The real, the one in the picture or the actual person?
Whatever. Leave it up to you guys. What do you think?
I think yes on both.
I think yes too. Whoa.
No, I think. Oh shit! We have 5 minutes. All right, so let me ask you, aloha, Mr. Hand. This is up to you. You can get this 5 minutes right now, or we can make them do 5 minutes of White Sox talk when we get to it. Totally up to you. Totally up to you.
Call.
I want to see your call in there. But while we're waiting for that, your question about the USC thing.
Yeah.
I think his world is completely different if he goes to USC.
Right.
Like I just think it was like that seemed to be where he wanted to go to. Yeah. So it was weird. It was weird that they didn't like that he didn't end up going there. There was a lot of strange stuff in he let
a pastor tell him to go to Notre Dame. It's like, it's a Catholic university.
I think it could have been a lot better for him just in general. And
it wasn't just that though, too, wasn't it? Like his uncle said, "Listen, you'll be different going there than if you go to USC. You're just another Samoan. You know, you're just another one of our people.
You'll be the next Polynesian football player. If you go to Notre Dame, you'll be the first Manti Te'o.
Yes.
Kind of
yeah. You need here, right?
Yes.
All right.
So what? There are better equipment at USC.
So we don't have an answer yet. So
okay, he might have fallen asleep.
I'm gonna.
Listen, Mr. Hand, I will let you know this right now. I have something very special planned for in a minute, and it is definitely worth every penny that you just threw up there. So just get ready to strap in and let down. You'll be very happy.
That's great. No, that's what he's doing. That's what he's got to do. So Mr. Hand says he wants 5 minutes of workout tips for all from My Sox Summer. Okay, so Teresa and I are going to mute out right now.
Let me get the clock up. Give me 1 second.
All right, here we go. So, hey, workout with MSS brought to you by the Tainted Glove Network. And Mr. Hand, the owner, proprietor, managing partner, CFO, AFO, whatever the fuck, FO, that's it. So anyway, when you go to the gym, this is how I used to do it. I used to go, if you want to gain muscle mass, right? First thing you got to do, muscle mass, you work out first. You do your weights. You do all that stuff first because you have complex sugars that are in your muscles. So if you lift first, you will make your muscles bigger, okay? So if you're trying to get bigger muscles, lift weights first, then do cardio. If you want to get thinner, you do cardio first because you burn off all those sugars, and then you go right in and start doing a lift. Now, if you're My Sox Summer nowadays, 2022 weight loss champion, 108 weight loss champion, My Sox Summer, this is how you lose weight. You get in there, you do your fucking cardio first. The first thing you do is your cardio. You start burning all those complex sugars off. Those are gone. After you're done with your cardio, now, okay, hold on. Let's start over. You do your cardio. First thing you got to do is work up to the big cardio. You can walk. Walking is fine. But walking doesn't burn it. You need to start doing some things that are going to fucking make you feel uncomfortable, like the goddamn stair machine. The stair machine is the worst thing, but it provides the most it provides the most fucking calories, most bang for your buck, as they say. I get killed on that motherfucker, and I feel like you start at 5 minutes, go to 10 minutes, go to 20 minutes. Just keep going. That's what you got to do. That's how you want to jumpstart it really good. Now, after you're done with your cardio, now you can switch it up. You can do some walking. You're just not going to burn as much. Get that good sweat going. You get that heart rate up. You know them fancy gyms, the Orange Theory gyms? Those fuckers, they want you to keep your heart rate not in a low rate and not at a higher rate. It's right in the middle, the orange, not in the red, not in the black, right in the orange. So that's what they're trying to do. I just gave you a big secret that you don't have to pay $200 a month for. That's all you got to do is keep your heart rate right in the fucking middle. My Sox Summer, saving deals, buying shit from thrift stores, and saving money all around. Now, so you're doing that. You get your heart rate up. You get that good sweat. Now, go into if you're like My Sox Summer, right? You go into the weights. Here's what I do. I do some pull downs. You know, I do the pull downs. Those are fun. 3 sets of 15. Those are fun. The next one I do the overhead press. Okay, I do that. That's a fun one. That's 245s on each side, 3 sets of 15. Then I go to the rack where you pull in, get good form. Okay. For a long time, my sock summer did not have good form, but he does have good form now. So you keep everything straight. Isolate the muscles that you're actually working. Okay. Don't be moving your whole body while you're doing these things. You don't want to do that. You want to just move the arms, all the muscles you want to fucking get get right there. Okay. That's the first thing. Okay. I don't like you. Okay. Baloney. I don't like what you just said. It's not very nice. He says, I'm getting cardio tips. I'm getting cardio tips from a dude that gets winded doing a promo on his iPhone. Now listen, me and Love just ran up a shitload of stairs that you possibly would have died at if you didn't have 108 weight loss in your life. Okay. Mr. Baloney. So just take it easy. You take it easy. I'm not winning right now, and I've been moving around like a motherfucker. Now, remember, isolate the muscles. Only use the muscles that you want to build and keep moving. Once you're done with that, move over to the bench. I do some pulls. I do like a machine. You do like a little, like a 50, I think it's 55 pounds. Do 3 sets of 15. If you notice there's a trend, I always do 3 sets of 15 of everything. And then I do some curls, 80-pound curve bar. Do that. Now, here's the way you walk out of this gym. Okay. You walk out of this gym. Back in the day, my gym used to have 30-pound medicine balls. Somebody fucking stole the motherfucker. I don't know who steals a 30-pound medicine ball, but it was fucking stolen. No, it wasn't me. I wish it was. I bought one on eBay for $40 ship. eBay, greatest place. Go check out my store. Shy Vintage. Yeah. But you get the fucking medicine ball. Okay. You take it. You go up. Throw it down. Then pick it up. I do 3 sets of 15. You do that. But in between your sets on your medicine balls, you go to the heavy ropes. You take the heavy ropes. Now, here's what's been killing me this year. You sit straight up. Make sure your back is straight and it's just your arms. You shred the front by sitting there going like this with the fucking ropes. My God. I'm not talking like, listen, I'm not a skinny guy, but I'm a lot skinnier than I was before I did that. And that is how you work out MSS style day in and day out, fellas.
I don't know what the fuck you just said, but I'm going to take video. I'm going to take that video and then I'm going to overlay audio of someone talking about having sex. We're going to see how it goes.
That was a good 5 minutes.
That was a good 5 minutes. It was an educational 5 minutes,
right.
I think, for everybody who's interested in how My Sock Summer burns complex sugars.
I like, yeah. Well, it's true. I mean, honestly, that's one big thing.
That's going to be a new drinking rule. If My Sock Summer says complex sugars, you drink.
I've never said it before in a podcast. I probably will never say it.
Here it comes. It's coming now, though.
All right.
Yeah, it's gonna happen
well,
a lot.
Guys, that counts as your banter. That was
what? No, I had a legit question. I have a legit.
Let him go, Treasy. Let him go.
Right,
let him banter.
It's
Fine.
a quick one. It's quick. I'm not even gonna bullshit.
Give us your shit.
As you guys all know, I mean, well, most people that are on Twitter know. I'm a big Illinois basketball fan, and they are doing awesome to beat the number 2 team in the nation, Texas Longhorns. Texas Longhorns did not execute down the stretch. It was insane. Illini executed down the stretch, and let me tell you, being a White Sox fan and an Illinois fan, having a lot of expectations put on people, and to watch this team actually fucking win a game when they might not or not supposed to, maybe overachieve a little bit, it's fucking amazing. Anyway, I have worn the same pair of pants for every victory that I have watched. I did not watch last Friday's loss to Maryland because I was working the BCA, dinner with Santa thing, right? So every game I have watched in person, I have worn the same pants. Bam! They're the Illini Zubas.
Baby,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question. This is a big question. I
Yeah,
only wear these for the game. I don't wear them any other time. I don't wear them around the house. I don't put them on in the morning. I only put them on for the game because they're special, right? Should I wash these? We got 4 wins in these pants, or 3 wins. I think it's 4 wins in these pants right now.
No.
I can't wash out the wins, right? I got to keep them.
You got to keep. No.
I would say until they leave the house, you don't have to wash them.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't wash. A couple things I would think about doing though. No wash, especially if you get deep into the win streak.
Don't shit in them though. Don't shit. No.
Well, Treasy, that's a given. I didn't think we had to go down there, but it's probably a good call for you.
Well, I'm sure there's some fluids in there and things like that, but there's no shit. This shit's on.
No poops.
When I was
I can't poop during
when I was a sophomore deal cell, the sophomore team I was on won 17 games in a row, and we went like 3 months without losing. Okay, if the Illini do that, you have to take some precautions with these pants and with your atmosphere when you're. So one, you get the Febreze close and Febreze the shit out of it after each game. Number two, I would suggest keep the temperature in your home when you're watching the Illini game in the 50s. Because you start getting a Fremunda going in there,
don't need a Fremunda.
It's not going to be a good experience for you or anyone around you watching the game. So just be careful. But I agree with Treasy. Do not wash them. Absolutely do not.
Okay.
You might get marinara stains on them. That's fine. That's part of being in play right there.
Exactly. You're talking about marinara, right?
That's right. Yes.
I will also say, don't wear them too much. Like it sounds like you're already on that. Don't wear them too much. You don't want to get used to the smell. As someone who's gone 2 weeks without showering at one point, you get used to that smell like a homeless person, and then it's not good. You have no idea how disgusting you are.
No,
all right,
lovely.
Gross. Treasy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. And speaking of like really fucking weird things, I wasn't looking for banter today, but I came across this because James Cameron's got the new Avatar movies coming out pretty soon, so a lot of people are talking about James Cameron and like everything that he's done. So obviously Titanic comes up. Are you guys familiar with the Titanic PCP incident?
No, not at all.
Okay. So they're filming a bunch of stuff in Mexico. So this is all the scenes with like the old lady and Bill Paxton and all them, right? So no Leo, no Kate, right? They're not there, but they got like 60 cast and crew and they're filming at night. And they got catering, of course. Of course, you got catering. Big fucking thing of clam chowder there, or some kind of chowder. Someone put PCP in it. So, and like everyone ate it, right? And so and I thought when I saw this, I was like, this is like some like internet rumor bullshit thing. No. So they asked Bill Paxton about it, and he was like, after about 15 minutes, like everybody started to get fucked up. And they all thought they were getting sick, right? Like James Cameron went to throw up, and then like he came back, and like everyone's gone. So everyone had fucking left, and so they like all they gather everybody up then, and they get into two lines, like, are you fucked up or are you okay? And eventually they all ended up in the same line. And they said that the variance though in reaction to it was some people felt like they were high and drunk. And so they were like laughing and having a good time. And some people had like pure existential terror. Like, and so they're like, okay, we need to go to the hospital. So let's think about this though for a second. This is 60 people on PCP going to the hospital at the same time. Awesome. So they get into the hospital,
Los Angeles,
and it is fucking mayhem. They're in this like tiny Mexican hospital, and they are going nuts in there. They're running around. People are doing wheelchair races. There's like what else was there? It's on. So like, oh yeah, and then they started a conga line in there, and then eventually someone was like, James Cameron is bleeding from the face. Someone stabbed James Cameron with a pen in the face, and he was laughing hysterically about it, and then passed out.
Oh my God.
Bill Paxton, before James Cameron passed out, told him, hey, this is nuts. I'm going to go back to the set and I'm going to drink a case of beer, which he did apparently, and then was fine.
Yeah.
And then,
smoothed them out.
It does. It works with cocaine too. If you guys want to know, like, if you're doing cocaine all night, just drink a case of Budweiser. You're fine.
And then like they gave him like the whatever that charcoal is that they give you like when you need like your stomach pumped and shit like that. So they gave him that, and like everybody ended up being fine. Nobody died. But here's the kicker: nobody ever caught. So they opened a police investigation that went for 2.5 years. James Cameron said, I think it's this guy that was fired the day before this happened, and they were never able to get a conviction on anyone. No one ever arrested, no suspect ever named.
That's hilarious. And that's why I, Teresi, nominate the cast of the Titanic for the 108 Hall of Fame class of 2023.
I mean, of sounds like Michael Cooper was at this party, Teresi, and he went over in the finals because he's
Right?
with Rob Lowe. You know, this is the same lore that this sounds like here. Like, look, it's almost unbelievable and surprising. Did this come out kind of shortly after the movie, or has this been kind of laying languid for a while?
I think it's been out there for a long time. I just somehow never heard about it. Like I had never heard this story.
Yeah,
and then, but like if you look it up, there's a lot of stuff. There's videos and stuff on it and articles and things. But you know, the video I watched, they were like, there was like they went to the hospital and there was like a police investigation. So I would think that it happened. Like it just seems like it happened. So maybe I just made up some shit, you know, on like spreading misinformation or something. But I mean, like, who cares? That's a great story.
Senor Sock says that's why I don't fuck with Chowders. I mean, I kind of now I got to be with him going forward. I'm worried about getting PCP'd. You know, who knows?
Most chowders do have at least a little bit of PCP, but not quite as much as this one.
And those fucking lightweights apparently couldn't take it. That was the problem.
Except Paxton.
Except Paxton, he was fine. He knew what he was doing.
Paxton was fine.
Yeah.
You know, like
Big Daddy.
I was listening to that and like and to this like video and like this whole thing and like they're talking and like Bill Paxton's talking about it. And Bill Paxton seemed to have like very lucid memories of all this. Like he knew everything that was going on. And then there's the story about him going back and drinking all the beer. And I'm like, this was not the first time Bill Paxton did PCP. Like that's the only thing I took away from the story. That's the only thing I took away.
He went into survival mode because he'd been there before. He knew exactly what he needed to do. That's beautiful.
We're all like, I think we might have been poisoned. I think he's like, you know what, guys? I think we're on PCP.
He's got to be a suspect then. He could handle it. He has to be a suspect in this.
No,
it was
no
a
way.
practical joke.
No way. You know why?
Trying to kill that old lady.
Because
he's trying to get the whole diamond for himself.
How does the old lady not die? Seriously, she should be dead.
She ain't no fucking lightweight.
She was not there. Like there was
thank God, because that would have killed her.
There was like two people that were not there, and they were both like over 70 years old. And so it was just like pure luck that they weren't there because they would have died.
This chowder is great.
70-year-olds can't handle PCP.
Not the shit that Bill Paxton does.
Their hearts,
great
age. You know?
He's a big movie star. He gets the best PCP around.
That's right.
Your fucking heart couldn't handle it either. There, asthmatic muddy.
I don't want PCP. Dead. What the fuck?
You'd be dead.
Why are you trying to kill me? We're trying? You think I got
to wait a second. I did not bring this story up for you to get all high and mighty about PCP usage. All right.
Never
done it. I'm talking to Beef. I'm talking to Beef.
I'm not getting high and mighty. He's saying things will explode my heart. And it's not just that, Treasy. We were on the stairs at Palmisano Park. He's like, I don't want you to die. I run faster than him up the stairs. Fuck my socks.
Because you're on PCP.
Right. But I can't handle it. My heart will explode. Actually, my heart is on the verge of exploding. That's why I run a little faster.
He does it just to fuck with me. I know his mental game. I understand it. It's fine.
You got to take it right to the brink. You got to push that engine.
You do,
You're pushing the engine on your Mazda
all the time.
So, why don't you tell me about some Mazdas, my friend?
Let's do it. Inspiring moments fill the holiday season. At Mazda of Orland Park, we want to offer you a car buying experience that's equally as inspiring as rewarding, with special incentives available during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event from now until January 3rd. Visit Mazda of Orland Park to test drive a Mazda SUV or car and learn about the incredible offers going on during this Mazda sales event. Be inspired. Drive a Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. One of these deals they're offering is no payments for 90 days when you finance your new Mazda through Mazda Financial Services. You can't beat that deal. Right now, Mazda of Orland Park has 63 new vehicles in stock, ready to sell to you, the 108 listener. Interested and want to know more? Head on over to www.mazdaoforlandpark.com and check out their available stock. Give them a follow on Twitter at ZoomZoomNation to get updates on all things Mazda. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
In case the comments haven't done it, there is a guy passed out in the back of this picture.
Holy shit, there is.
Yeah, he's right in the bus stop there, you see? Yeah. Well, he could just be sleeping. Doesn't need to be passed out, Trees. He could just be having a nap. Nothing wrong with that. You know?
Okay, yeah, you're right. I judged.
One of the first
judging
things that you get when it comes up. Yep.
Let's get into some White Sox talk, fellas.
Nice. Let's do it.
As you know, the winter meetings have just gone by.
Yeah.
And our good friends at the White Sox apparently showed up to it. So we had the winter at
That's a
Rick's.
good one. I
So-
love that one.
I love that.
Put that back up. That's beautiful.
It needs a
Put that
little more
back up.
airtime, right?
It
needs
is.
a little more
In
time.
fact, look at
It's
Kenny's
beautiful.
face is the
Kenny,
best. Like literally, like Kenny's is the
Kenny's
best.
low key the best. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It looks constipated almost. The picture.
Or high as fuck. One of the
He
two.
looks high as fuck. Like the
Got a
shades,
shit in his eye.
the coloring of the shades is makes him look high as fuck. All right, so the Sox go to the winter meetings. Basically, Rick Hahn took the guys out there like he was going to a timeshare meeting, where like you get the free room, but you got to go to the little seminar, and like people are telling him, hey, you might want to pay market value for people, and he's like, look, guys, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go in there. We're going to listen to them. We're not going to do shit. Then a little bit fun in the sun. All right, that's all we're doing out here in San Diego. That's what we came here for. We're not trying to hear about paying people money to play baseball.
Cheers,
My
Mr.
Sox summer. Give me your thoughts on this, and let me know if I need to start another timer.
Oh yeah, know what? You don't need to do that unless somebody
Okay.
wants to give us $50 more. But you don't even need that. This shit's free. I already did the hard stuff. Let's do the
Beautiful.
fun stuff.
Love it.
This is the fun stuff. Now, Rick in San Diego. Everyone's been talking about. It's been all over the Twitters. It's been kind of insane. I wrote 6 paragraphs of it's just like, I'm gonna leave. See you later. I don't even need to listen to this shit. That's awesome. Oh, you guys are both muted. This is great. Okay, so I listened to Sox Talk the other day, which I don't normally listen to. I don't normally listen to any type of other media that's Sox related because I don't want to steal ideas from other people and bring them into this universe. Plus, I feel like we've been around long enough that I can just make up my own shit. But I did notice that since I have been listening to other people's stuff, I've been having a lot of different ideas. It's been kind of good. I kind of like it. Maybe I'll start listening to more stuff. So when I start stealing everybody's shit, like I feel like they probably are stealing my shit, like this is where it's going to get really good. So I listened to Sox Talk with our Chuck and Ryan McGuffey. First off, kudos to Ryan McGuffey. He speaking his mind and saying something that we were all kind of thinking. Like he was like, Chuck's like, well, we're not doing anything till later because trades comes after all the big signings. Now we're gonna get there later. And Ryan McGuffey just in the background just goes, bullshit. This is bullshit, and they're like, wait a minute, what am I listening to? I had to check my iPhone. Shout out to Spo. And was like, hey, am I listening to the right fucking podcast? And I was listening to the right podcast because he got real uppity. And I liked it. And I liked it because usually, and Herb said it on CHGO with Sean Anderson, usually they're paid to carry the water. And it was refreshing to hear the people that are paid to carry the water not carry the water. So good job, Ryan McGuffey. I hope you still have a job. If you don't, you can come work for us. We don't offer any pay or anything, but we can get you some free drinks. Now, the idea that things need to be over before we do our work and sign big names seems like a really bad idea. Watching contenders and recent playoff participants sign big names and spend like crazy hurts on many levels. And while Guff is talking, goddamn Chuck is making excuses. The basically stay healthy theory has been replaced with, if these guys just perform like they should, we'll be fine theory. It's fucking nuts. When asked where we need help on the field, Chuck says that we need right field, second base, and starting pitcher, just like it has been since 2020. But what he forgot was we need to replace the production of Jose Abreu now too. We're banking on guys who haven't really shown that they can stay healthy or be productive for this team. Makata, Aloy have shown flashes. Vaughn is creeping, and Luis Robert hasn't been all that is advertised. Listening to quotes from Rick Hahn and even Chuck, TLR is getting the blame for performance of the players, and apparently a fresh injection of Pedro and some other coaches is all we need. I'm all for a fresh start. I'm all for a fresh start, but own your failures. When we watched the team do well under a TLR, we were told by the haters that the players did well despite TLR's leadership. But when the team blew goats last year, we were told, and we are still being told, it was all because of TLR letting the players run the show in the clubhouse. No one was held accountable. It was simply a discipline thing. Now, if this is true, why didn't the Sox front office move on from Tony La Russa during the season? It was that fucking clear. That is what is so frustrating. What stuck out to me between the comments of Chuck, Rick, and Pedro was they are going to start holding the players accountable. Now, that seems like a massive deflection from what the real issue is. And that is to some big failures by the people in charge. And that is like because people in charge made some big failures. I did not write this very well. Okay, this is very stream of consciousness. Just enjoy it. Okay, blame Jerry, blame Kenny, but also blame Rick. I like the 108's way of breaking down stuff, the good analogies that everyone can understand. I want to put out. Wait a minute. Did I just jump out? No, I didn't fuck up. I didn't even fuck up. I just thought I fucked up. Fuck,
you did. You started talking about
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. So, but bring back. I like the way 108's way of breaking down stuff, the good analogies that everyone can understand. I want to put what I am feeling into an analogy that could be a great or go drastically wrong, which it might have already have. Please enjoy my brain ramblings, folks. I am responsible for ordering the 108 merch in terms of design and the numbers. I asked the brothers for their input, but ultimately it's my call. It's pretty well known that I made a good call getting crew neck sweatshirts in regular sizes. You can't get either the black or blue crew necks in regular sizes. They're sold out and have been sold out for months. My call was correct. And I was correct in ordering all the plus sizes ones too. Some want to say that I ordered too many. I disagree. The blame doesn't fall on me. The real blame belongs to our customers. Our customers underperformed when it came to buying the plus sizes. I bought which normally should sell. And according to the regular sizes, I ordered just enough. I ordered plenty. And it worked out really well on that guard. So when it comes down to it, it's not my fault. It's our customers. Our customers didn't buy enough plus sizes. You lazy, fat, plus size people did not buy enough of these. Wow.
Hashtag 108 weight loss.
Hashtag 108. Yeah, exactly. Our customers. Yeah. I bought. How do I know that? Well, it's just how I feel. No, I have never sold crew necks before. No, I had no idea if our customers would perform like I think they should. But one thing that I do know is I was not wrong in ordering so many. It was mostly the customer's fault for not buying them. Yes. And that's what I hear when I see this talk that the players aren't performing. Well, you can say this and that, and it might be true. We are banking on players that haven't shown that they can perform to our expectations and letting the ones that can perform walk. It's fucking bananas, and I hope going forward, the new coaches get some results. Ricky Renteria got results, but wasn't giving jack shit to succeed. We focused on the bull. Thought that the bats would pick up. They didn't, and that was met with general cheapness and internal options when it came to signing a big bat. It's okay to gamble on the guys in the systems, but we bought no insurance. This isn't like playing blackjack in Vegas, folks. Insurance and depth fucking matters. Ultimately, we still have not learned from Austin Jackson, and that's sad. And that's all I have to say.
Yes. I like the mic drop of Austin Jackson.
I love the Austin Jackson. I think we've talked about that a lot of times on this show. Yes. And like when you're like, yeah, this is the finishing piece. Oh, he's hurt. We got nothing.
Yeah,
we got no backup plan.
Pack it up, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, it might suck. You're totally right. All the blame gets shifted to either the guys that ain't here anymore or the guys that got hurt. There's no like accountability of, you know what, I screwed up, and maybe there is behind closed doors, but none of the messaging results in that. None of the messaging comes close to like, I realize I screwed up doing X, Y, Z, or maybe we should have done this instead of that, or maybe I should have sat on my hands at the trade deadline. And so it's kind of funny to kind of see it come out like that.
And you can look into some of this stuff, and I know that Aloha Mr. Han is a crazy ass person, right? And he's nuts. He's a lunatic, especially now on Twitter, and but what he's saying is 100% correct, and it's mostly and they're talking to some people that I know in the organization. I mean,
thank you, Nathan. Thank you for the drink.
You know, you're saying things, and then you're not doing those actions. You can say like right now, it's all talk, right? Like Pedro, I understand. Like he's gonna say, listen, we're gonna hold guys accountable, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and whatever, and like we're gonna see where that goes, and that's fine, but when you have a GM saying we need to regain the trust of the fans, the first thing you do is not cancel the fan festival. And I think it gets made too much of a big deal, but it's also like, listen, if you really want to like own up to it, you go out and you take the bullshit. So like you knew you were going to get shit on because of like the last few years performance. So yes, maybe you don't want to do it. And maybe, and I like to give them a little bit of credit. Maybe that's something out of their control, why they're not having Sox Fest, but like, it's definitely not, it doesn't hurt. It's like, oh, oh, the person I owed $50 to died, and I don't have to pay him back. Oh, hey, you know, I was gonna pay him back.
Great.
But
I had every intention, but we just couldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a waste now. Like it was him, and like his kid don't need $50. They probably got plenty of money. But you know, it's just it's just like I like he says, you know, it's just like you're not doing the things that you want to do when it seems like it's pretty easy to do them. So maybe you should get out there and press a little flesh and take some shit, eat some crow, as they like to say.
Yeah, I mean, you MSS, you're totally right. Though the Sox Fest is low hanging fruit. Just do it because it's so easy to like. Okay, we appease this part of it by not doing it right. It's a minor thing in general, but it's something that is bulletin board material for fans all the way. Now, one thing to double back on Pedro. I want to hear more Pedro Grifol, and he's really the only one I want to hear more of right now because he's new. He's coming with new ideas in theory. I want to hear more from him, but the rest of you, I don't, you know, I don't care.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's why it's interesting that they didn't do Sox Fest because like they love talking bullshit to the fans, right? I mean, like they're just that's their MO. Like that, why not just go do it for 2 days? Right. And make the tickets really expensive, do it in a smaller place, and then go, okay, well, we made a bunch of money, and we're going to just talk to you guys and say, you know, it's Tony La Russa's fault, and I can't wait till Luis Robert's fully healthy. We're good. So start buying those division futures, you idiots.
And let me clear something up. This is a 108 podcast does believe Tony La Russa sucked very bad last year. We're not absolving him of any guilt. He fucking stunk. He wasn't the only one who stunk. That's the only point I'm making with all that. Just to clarify that, so no one runs with the 108 loves Tony La Russa. We do not. We were not fans of him at all.
When you have gaping holes in your team, you know you go to the winter meetings and you fill them. Like that's what like a lot of teams did. He may have been filling holes. You may have been filling holes, but he was definitely not on the team. We don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Hello, friend.
Beef, what do you think he was doing? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. I was just gonna say, like, it was, you know, people didn't like Rick Renteria, and 108 was 100% on Rick Renteria's side. We're like, he's fine. Like, just get him some players, and he's probably going to be okay. He did a lot with nothing, right? And like, then they brought, you know, and then the worst possible thing happens. You know, you bring in Tony La Russa, but then they fucking win the division, and they do really well, and people are like, well, the players are just winning in spite of them. You know, and then they're like, okay, well, that's fine. You know, the players are just good. But then you like, well, Tony Russa's just bringing everything down, you know, and this is why the team sucks. Like, he's just not good. It's like, well, but wait, they're 1 year removed from winning the division without any of his help. And like, they know how to do it. Like, it's out there. Like the plan is there. So you can say those things, but you both can't be true. You can't tell me both things. Like and maybe something happened. Okay. Maybe something happened, but for the greatest part of it, the players underperformed kind of last year, but none of these guys have really performed. So it's not like we had like a 40 home run series, you know.
They underperformed expectations, but not their career lines, is what you're saying. And it's true because they've never been those guys that you want them to be, right? Yeah.
Okay, another 80 grade analogy. I'm sorry, Treasy. I know I'm pushing this.
Go for it, baby.
I'm really sorry, but like
I'm just gonna end the show.
It's like when your boss fucking puts up, you know, like, hey, here's your bonus expectations. You know, here's the numbers that we want to hit. And then if we hit these numbers, you're going to get the bonus. And I've worked in at least 2 places where they like, once we hit those numbers, they were like, man, we really fucked up these numbers. They should have been higher. So we're not going to pay you that bonus that we decided because we didn't know, you know.
I've never worked at a place like that.
Well, no, because you work in legit areas. Like I've worked in places.
People stop working at places like you just described.
I was gonna say the talent goes rolling out the door the second some shit like that happens.
You know, that's why. Why do you think I work from home? No, so it's just. But I've been in like at least 2 places that have said that. Like we fucked up on projections, so you're not getting this, or this isn't what we thought. We're like, what? So it's like, to me, it's
the
like
FBI rolled in the next day and they're like, this was a Ponzi scheme. Guys, we should go home.
Right? Luis Robert should hit 40 home runs this year, but Luis Robert has never done that. Luis Robert has never approached that. So to like expect that like all of a sudden is this going to happen, it seems kind of ridiculous. Same with the World Series expectations for these teams. They're like, oh, we're gonna be in the World Series in 2020, and then we didn't have a third starting pitcher in 2020. Like it's just like
Seems
there was
like
just some
an issue.
crazy shit like when the fans expecting it, but the organization also doubled down on it too. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. This is just some weird shit. It's just odd. So anyway, I'm gonna stop because this is like a big hole. Like we could go down this rabbit hole for forever.
We did have a couple questions I wanted to get to really quickly.
Yeah.
So
do it.
Senior Socks asked, can he order more batteries for his ornament in the 108 merch shop? And
How
it's
did that
actually
happen?
you just order another ornament. That's the same price. So just
$20.
So
just
order
get it
that.
in the store.
In fact,
Yeah.
order it with the sweater. I don't know if your fat ass can fit in it though. So we'll see.
Hey, Senior Socks, send me a message. I don't have you blocked, unlike these other two. Send me a DM and I will.
I don't have Senior Socks blocked.
Yeah, I would never block. I
Me
can't
and him,
block
me
other
and him
people.
send pics to each other all the time. All right.
hello.
And then there's
Oh my God.
Aloha, Mr. And asks, how can you regain trust when you can't even articulate your messaging? And you're the one that paid the $50 for MSS to talk for 5 minutes. I don't know what
I'm talking about the stocks.
That's right.
Oh,
No,
he's
that's-
talking about the socks.
Oh
he's
yeah.
talking
Okay.
about the
I
socks.
didn't realize that. Okay.
Sorry,
never mind. Yeah. That's.
All right. I was a little bit
You
confused.
realize it.
I was a little bit. Beef, what did you think about the winter meetings?
So just a quick summation. Like, first off, just to everyone, like, I listened to a couple different podcasts. MSS is like, oh, I've been listening to more podcasts. There are some Sox podcasts I generally listen to all the time. Listened to a couple last night. Not gonna name who they are, but you can probably figure it out who was live streaming last night. And both of them felt the need to go line by line through Rick Hahn's quotes. And they're comprehensive White Sox podcasts. We are not. So we are not going to go through Rick Hahn's quotes. And I would advise you Sox fans, don't even ingest any Rick Hahn quotes because they're not worthwhile to you. Now, here's my thoughts on the winter meetings. I got 3 tiers here. I got optimistic, pessimistic, and realistic. Okay, and this is just basically like Jules Winfield in the diner trying to decide what path he thinks is for the righteous man. Okay, first up, optimistic. This is what happened from an optimistic standpoint at the winter meetings. They really laid some groundwork for some deals. They did learn about the market price for the players. They're close on a bunch of frameworks and deals and things that will materialize to change this roster. Just hasn't finalized yet. So this is the optimistic. They got in there and they really did some work, and we're just not seeing the fruits of it. This happens sometimes, deal making, whatever. Treasy says no. Okay, so next up, Treasy is pessimistic. Hahn did nothing. He was like that original driver in Talladega Nights that during the pit stop, he ran off to get the chicken sandwich and stopped driving the car. I probably shouldn't talk about this. People feed the 108ers information sometimes, okay? We do not break anything. We're not Scoop City or anything. You're not going to hear us on this podcast breaking any news. But at the last trade deadline, the Sox hadn't done a goddamn thing. I get a DM from a guy who writes me this long message about how he's got this picture of Rick Hahn the morning of the trade deadline.
Amazing.
And this picture exists. I'm not putting it on the internet. Rick Hahn is sitting in a cafe doing absolutely fucking nothing. Just has
phone,
a coffee,
no computer.
phone, no laptop, no nothing. He's just sitting there by himself, looks fucking exasperated. And the guy's like, there's no way this guy is making a deal today. And he was totally right. It's like this is what I envision the winter meetings looking like, the trade deadline. When nothing happened in the morning of the trade deadline, this guy snapped a picture of him at a fucking cafe doing not a goddamn thing. Like, it cracked me up. I didn't put it out there because I'm like, this is unfair, but it was hilarious.
I remember seeing that picture, and I thought to myself, this is how I look on vacation when, like, I'm in a hotel room with my wife, and I'm like, I'm going to go downstairs and get a cup of coffee with the sole thought, I can't throw up in the room in front of my wife. I'll throw up in a Starbucks. I'm not above that.
Yeah.
But not in the hotel room. So
I mean, maybe he was burnt from all-nighters or something. I don't know, but the picture was fucking hilarious to me. Now, the realist in me thinks that maybe they did talk to teams, felt out the market, but they're starting to realize that they're going to need a lot of things to line up, a lot of things to go right to get themselves a deal that could really work. And they're seeing a lot of teams striking here and a lot of free agent choices moving off the board, and they're kind of getting uncomfortable with what they think values are and what they think is reachable in the market. And so they're not panicking quite yet, but they're kind of in a phase of maybe we'll get lucky, maybe something will fall back to us that we want, but they know they can't act on anything. Yeah, Alex, I agree. I agree with you. At least they didn't trade trade for him.
I think you're probably that one is probably the most accurate of what's going on. Like I think he legitimately. I joke about him doing the timeshare thing and not taking it seriously, or sitting in the coffee shop and just not paying attention to anything, because those are funny. But like I think he's legitimately trying to work out deals. But I think at the same time. And this is it's been a problem with the Sox for years, and the Machado deal and Harper deals are prime examples of it, where they don't get a good read on the market. So if they went out there, with $20 million to spend on a few players, like everyone's getting like $15 million at least, right? I mean, like there's the salaries are going up because the teams are making a shitload of money.
Yep.
And they can pay these salaries. And so the salaries are going to go up. And you can't go out. Like he walked into the high price casino with the downtown Vegas money. That's what happened.
Right. I realized.
So now he is sitting around going like, what's going to fall to us? Right. Yeah. He's going to go, he's playing pick a number with Eddie in the shitty casino now. Like, right. And so,
give me some of the blue.
It's going to get to the point. I did a blog about this. I wrote a blog about this.
Hello.
A while back.
I will drink a couple
years ago when I tried to like lay out the odds of like all the things that needed to happen, right? Yep. Because like when you're not one of these teams like the Mets who's going to go, we're just going to pay top dollar to fill every roster spot that's open right now and is a problem. We're going to do that. When you don't do that, you're basically looking at like, okay, I need this contract that I'm going to pay a little bit less for to go this way. I need an expectation that is not normal, right? To my summer, to what you were saying earlier is like, I need Luis Robert to hit 40 home runs. Yeah. Well, he hasn't done that before. So what are the odds on that? And then you start to parlay these things because you don't just need that. You need Mike Clevenger to bounce back. If you go out and get Joey Gallo, you need Joey Gallo to at least get the OBP above 300 again, right? Like you need all these things, and all these things are like these little, you could hope for it. It's a reasonable expectation to say like, oh, I hope he does this, but like these are all you're betting the Bears to win every week here, right? I mean, like
you're betting the Jets money line every week.
You're underdog. You're the under. Yeah, you are. You're betting Jets money line last year.
That's right.
And then you go, I got to do all of these things, and now you've got this same game parlay that is just fucking outrageous, and that's where this could be heading if we say, oh, we need to do this and this and this and hope that this guy comes back and turn it around, like all of that shit. If it's one guy, right? Like if the only thing we were here worried about was like, man, I don't know if Kopech's going to come into the year healthy, and I don't know what's going on with Yasmani Grandal. If those were the only two things that we were worried about, I would be like, okay, we'll see what happens, and if they don't work out, let's fill those gaps mid-season. But there's like 80 of these things that we're talking about.
A lot of them. And I see in the comments, and I'm just watching them, and it's like, well, he's not allowed to spend. Bullshit. Look at our bullpen. We have like this fancy ass fucking hoopty sitting in our bullpen right now. Like we have a lot of toys over there.
Is he not allowed to spend the same way he's not allowed to develop players? Because if they actually if they develop the cheap positions, they wouldn't have to spend all of their money on them.
No. And it's like it's odd. It seems odd. And like, that's why I like the new talk. We got we got another guy coming in, we can get to him very shortly. And it's like, we're starting to look at we're looking at our warts. We're looking at what's wrong with us.
So speaking of something that's right with us, but something that it could change is the Liam Hendriks market is starting to heat up. And my God, the Red Sox are helping us out here. They've taken Kenley Jansen off the board, and now they've taken another reliever, not someone who would close, but taken another reliever and Chris Martin off the board, really dwindling down what there is for relievers right now. And that's making Liam Hendriks a lot more valued to other teams. So Beef, give us a little insight on like what might happen, why they might do it.
Yeah, okay. So out there in the market, I see a lot of this on Twitter. It's like you're not a serious organization if you're trading that shutdown closer. And that's not necessarily true. Not every team wants to have that guy, the high price guy at the end. A lot of teams like to use their depth and like to pick and choose a reliever. And in the White Sox case, where you're not going to have a payroll that's going to be way up into $250 million, there's a total reason to think about trading Liam Hendriks. Liam Hendriks has a lot of what they would call excess value right now. So his contract is 2 years, $29 million. Looking at the marketplace, he's worth a bunch more than that. Treasy mentioned Kenley Jansen getting 2 and 32. He's not anywhere near as good. So there is excess value there. If you could take the extra Liam value and spread it out to somewhere else on the roster, the next man up behind Liam is not as good as Liam on the White Sox, but is still a pretty good proxy. So you're not losing that much by kind of pushing the whole group up one spot and filling in those reliever spots, especially in the back end of the bullpen. You've got Graveman here. You can expect a little bit of a bounce back from Joe Kelly. Reynaldo Lopez was terrific last year. If you get anything close to last year's Jimmy Lambert and anywhere close to prior to last year's Aaron Bummer, you still have a top-notch bullpen kind of at the end.
And if Crochet comes back with anything,
that's right. And you could take the Liam value and spread it out to the rest of the roster. So it's more of an opportunistic thing. This is not a distressed sale. Like, you have to trade him. But if the opportunity is there, it's the one spot on the roster where you have excess, where you could shoot that thing. You could give yourself a shot there and take a gamble and try to spread it out into the rest of the roster, or even just add a player at a different spot. Even if you did 1 for 1 and threw a guy in the outfield that was equal value to Liam, it probably would benefit the roster more. So this is the thesis here. So don't think of it as like they're an unserious team if they do this. Yes, I would like them to just fucking spend money. But Jerry Reinsdorf's still our owner. Okay, we gotta remember we're stuck with him for now. Okay, and so Han's got to do what he's got to do, and that's what makes a trade market for Liam Hendriks reasonable, in my opinion. And the market value is going up.
So let's talk about what some of these possible trades could be. And Beef, we both wrote about these earlier, and I think you had one with the Dodgers. I'll pull that up, and you could just read it.
Yeah, I did have one with the Dodgers. I was sending Liam Hendriks to the Dodgers for right-handed starting pitcher in AAA, Bobby Miller, and right-handed reliever Nick Robertson. And the theory here is Bobby Miller is a high-end prospect, top 50 prospect. Now the Dodgers, it's tough to improve a 111-win team from last year, but one spot that they could improve is at the closer position. They just don't have kind of a rock-solid guy. Now, they're a really smart team. They may choose to go with some incumbent that they feel strongly about. But last year, they traded the White Sox for Craig Kimbrell. So I think there's probably a comfort level in the organization of, let's have a guy that we think we can go to. They had Kenley Jansen for all those years, kind of before he was signed away last year. So I see it as a reasonable possibility. Some of the people thought that the prospect haul was a little too high, but when you get to these levels, when you get to the Padres spending like that, when you get to the Phillies spending like that, I could see the Dodgers bucking up, trading some prospect capital or some low kind of like young major league capital to get that rock solid closer in the end. And so that was kind of the thought process there, is like, there's a major player in the market. There's someone that bowed out in 4 games last year and really like could use the kind of the stopper at the end. And so I thought it could make sense.
Yeah, I don't think that the haul's too much, right? Because you see what the trade deadline stuff looks like, and this is kind of an elevated version of that because there's so many more teams in the market for a closer right now. There's so many more teams that would be giving up a lot, and there's just no closers left, right? I mean, like I think there might be a couple guys that you could consider, but like they're nowhere near what Hendriks is. So I think that there's a lot that you can expect to get back from him in the trade that I did. And we did these before the offseason really got going. Right. So I was thinking that the Rangers were going to do a little bit more in the outfield. So I was saying send Hendriks and Brian Ramos for Adolis Garcia. I still think this trade is even. I think that the Rangers would think of it as likewise talent. I just don't think that the Rangers have solved enough in the outfield to really say like, yes, we're going to move Adolis. Because like right now they're still looking. Like, you can see there's a lot of rumors about them looking at who are they going to put in left field, and like they're tied to Conforto and other guys like that. So I don't think they've done enough to say, okay, we can move Garcia. So I'm not sure that they're a good match.
Garcia would be a terrific fit for the White Sox, though, because he's a you can put him in right field and he'll be great there. He'll have enough power and he's a terrific defender. And when Luis Robert gets a little ouchy, he plays center field just fine. So like you can slide him over, it works. He doesn't walk very much, but he has prodigious power. He's got speed. So kind of like, okay, fine, we're not going to solve the walk rate there, but the rest of the stuff works pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I love the player, right? I mean, like when I was looking at the roster, I was like, how can I get the? It was one of those where I wasn't like, what could the Sox get rid of? I was like, how do I get this guy? Because this is the guy from this roster that I want. There was a lot of that beef when we were doing the trade blogs where I was. You look at the whole roster, you look at the minor leagues and everything, and you're like, there's one guy I want on this team. Right? I mean, like
MSS. This sounds overtly sexual. I could be wrong here. It's like there's this one porn star I really want to see, and you got to search for him.
I'm looking through
one guy I want.
I'm looking through the whole bar.
It's like I'm going to search search for Kieran Lee. And,
I mean, listen,
I need to see it.
Like especially in bars, right? Like you set like in my single days. You know, up in DeKalb, Illinois, you know, like going to Molly's or whatever. Like you would set your sights on a girl when you first walked in. Like you had to like figure out what the deal was, right?
Yeah.
So like you kind of gotta go away from the pretenders and go just for the people that you're thinking of. So it's good to focus. It's a good.
Now was this to hook up with or to eat?
Either or. I mean, listen, that's not nice. That's not nice at all.
Hey,
I gotta write that down.
You're right.
I'm gonna write that down.
That's terrible. I can't believe you did that.
But Beef, so another trade that's kind of floating out there is that it seems like the Yankees are making Gleyber Torres available. And so what do you think about Hendricks for a guy like Torres? Now, let me preface this real quick because I think a lot of us are hearing Gleyber Torres, and the name sounds attractive. I am not quite sure exactly what Gleyber Torres is, but I do know that he is
newest star signed at Bangs Bros.
He's a Super 2 guy. So he's got this year and next year of ARB years. So this is his third year where he's going to make about probably $9.5 million. And then the fourth year, you'd guess that he's going to be above 10, probably around like the 11 or $12 million range. So that there's not a lot of savings if you were to do this. It's not like you get this guy and then, we got the savings and now we can go get another guy. It's going to be kind of a straight up trade if you were to do that. What do you think about that scenario?
I mean, as a 1-for-1, it's fucking volatile because Gleyber Torres could plug in at second base, hit 28 home runs and be like, oh man, we really needed this, in our lineup. He could also plug in there and outright stink, just be absolutely awful, give you an 85 WRC plus, and you'll think to yourself, how the hell did we trade the best closer in baseball for this piece of shit? Like it has all those possibilities baked into it. So it's a especially scary proposition in my personal opinion.
And to give some color to that, like if you look at the last 2 years of Gleyber Torres had 24 home runs last year, and then the year before though he had 9. And he had a 697 OPS and a 93 OPS plus. So like he wasn't very good.
It was bad
in 2021. 2022, it popped up a little bit and 24 home runs. That's nice. I would love that at second base. I would love that from a guy who hits like Dan Ugla at second base.
Exactly.
But
that's
Billy Wires. Thank you for the drink, baby. Thank you for the drink.
Cheers, Billy. I have no idea.
Son of a bitch.
Which one we're gonna get. So I agree with you. It's definitely volatile. But if that is the best trade out there, do you think it's worthwhile because of the position of need that the Sox have, and as opposed to the closer where you could kind of do next man up?
Probably not. I don't like the kind of the closed end version of this where it's just another player of the same salary where it's like they've got a lot of warts. I don't really love as much. I like more upside and more downside kind of situation. If we're going to trade Liam Hendricks, that would be my personal preference because you could see a situation where the White Sox have another down year in 2023. But if you took guys who have like more control, more time on the roster, 2024, the payroll clears up a bunch more, right? You lose some guys out of here that are costing you a bunch of money. And so like in theory, in theory, because it's still Jerry is the owner. We could spend some more money and kind of retread the team in 2024 with a lot of pieces still in place, a lot of the theoretical vital pieces still here. So I would prefer like that one. If we're going to go all in, I'm going all in with the prospects. I'm making those trades with the prospect guys and keeping Liam on the roster. If we're going to trade Liam, I want something that is going to be here for a little bit.
108's going to be the first ones to come out with the retread the rebuild shirts. So get ready to buy those.
I had the hashtag for a while, perpetual rebuild.
But retread the rebuild? Like that's
retread the rebuild
alliteration.
It's a cod piece though. It's a cod piece.
Is that a tire reference?
Big one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go get your tires at Mazda of Orland Park.
That's right. You absolutely should. There's no question.
All right. Let's skip to, we're talking about who might be here. Let's talk about someone who is certainly here, but I have no idea what his job title dictates. Let's talk a little bit about Mike Tosar.
Yes. Part owner of Bang Bros. Part owner of Bang Bros.
All right. So
early adapter.
The middle card, not the signed one, the other middle card. Beef, right. Give me your thoughts on this look here. And MSS.
I mean, that's early Bang Bros, right? That's like late 90s. Yeah. They're setting up the website MSS. They're kind of pulling their group of friends together. How much money do we got? Let's try and do this site. I think we can get something going, right?
Right. That plus it also looks like, hey, this is the first year that the Devil Rays are around in Tampa, and like this is my senior picture. I'm gonna get the hat and the jersey, and this will be my senior picture. Like I'm a big Rays fan since day one because I've been in Tampa for forever.
Yeah,
we've only had the Buck.
If you're just listening to the show, let me just kind of describe. So if you've never seen Mike Tosar, his ears kind of shoot straight out to the side. Yep. He's wearing a Devil Rays hat that seems too big. Hat. It seems like it's resting on his large ears, and then he's got on a Devil Rays jersey, and he's got kind of a weird smirk on his face, he's farting while the picture's being taken.
He's like yes, like I read Catcher in the Rye, and it's very deep. Like take your pants off, college lady. Yeah.
All right, so Beef,
fucking look there.
Did you write a blog about this?
I did write a blog about this. So I saw little bits and pieces about Mike Tosar, and I told you, Trees, I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on Mike Tosar. I'm going to read every fucking thing I could find about him, and I'll put a blog together, and probably no one will read it. And shockingly, a lot of you actually read it. So
I even read it.
My thought, allegedly, my thought was find out what he is, what he does, and get a real sense of background. The position that he's been put into, Major League Field Coordinator, was a puzzle to me. I'd never fucking heard of it, right? So I had to Google it. I had to dig deep down. But basically, he becomes Winston Wolfe with the White Sox. He solves problems, and he's going to be able to float to kind of whatever. Winston Wolfe is Harvey Keitel's character in the 1994 release Pulp Fiction, which is one of the most famous movies of all time. If you haven't seen it, sorry about the spoiler alerts, but Winston Wolfe shows up to help Jules Winfield, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Vincent Vega, played by John Travolta. They had an accidental shooting. He shows up to help them solve the problem. And that's what Winston Wolfe kind of does. Now, this Major League Field Coordinator, that's their job. They kind of can float to whatever problem necessary. And Teresa, you and I were a little concerned when the initial press conference for Pedro Grifol came out, and they talked about who the bench coach was. And it was Charlie Montoyo. And there was a little concern about who actually sourced the bench coach, right?
So here was my concern. I had no I was very clear on who sourced the bench coach, and it was not Grifol. Like that was very evident. Yeah. And like a lot of people have just taken the bullshit from the Sox, which I found weird, but regardless. The reason that I found it strange was you would think when you're coming into a managerial position for the first time, there is someone in your baseball life that has been like a friend and confidant, and that's the guy that you want right next to you every day, day in, day out, and you would make that person your bench coach. And so I was concerned that that wasn't the case, because I was a little worried, like, does he not have that kind of person in his life? Because then that would like bring up serious character questions for me, right? Like, no one is that close to this guy. Like, that's weird, right? Yeah. But we come to find out that Mike Tosar is that guy. And what I do like about this, Beef, is that instead of giving him a position where he would be bogged down with day-to-day responsibilities that the bench coach has and being in the dugout every day and have to do all these things, this position gives him some autonomy, lets him do kind of whatever he feels he needs to do. And it's good that he has that kind of trust in him, right? And so like that made me more confident about the way that this thing rolled out. I was very worried up front, though. I will say I was very worried about it. And now as we see it starting to come out, I like the way that they've done this.
Yeah, Teresa, you're right. And when I did the deep dive, I realized the same thing. I realized there's a lot of connections between these two coming all the way up. They did not have exactly the same path through to Major League Baseball. Tosar was a special assistant with the Dodgers for 7 years, 2012, 2019. So he was in the best organization possible for a while. Think of it this way: if you're a big NFL fan, think of it. And I'm not comparing these guys directly as like their exact values, but think of the relationship this way: like Grifol is Belichick, and Tosar is Ernie Adams. You know how Bill Belichick is Ernie Adams is like his boy to figure out problems, to research things, to understand things, to fix things that, and to think outside the box for him. And just from going through all the information I could find on the internet, Tosar was good at fixing hitters' problems in a variety of different ways. It wasn't you're a fake internet coach and you got one thing that you teach these guys how to do: swing with a upward swing. He handled every single different type of player. With Soler, it was a mental game, right? With Salvador Perez, it was more kind of approach based. You know, with Michael Franco, he wanted him to swing more. Like they got him swinging more earlier in the count. Like didn't let him get deeper in the count. There was a lot of different with MJ Melendez, who was one of their prospects that was failing and then shot back up. It was a stance change. It was positional. So it's like the man thinks deeply about all this stuff. And so I like hearing all that. And it's not just just do this, just throw a cutter Don Cooper style, right? That was all we would always hear. Oh, he's adding a cutter because of Don Cooper. No, this guy kind of thinks again. Now, I don't know. What he's done has not, at least with the Royals, it did not get itself all the way up to the team level to make big impacts. But he did make big impacts individually with guys. And so I'm interested to see how it works with the White Sox.
Yeah, no. And what's crazy is, Beef, you wrote that blog. And so I'm going through it. You know, I fix all the grammatical errors for you.
Which there are a lot.
And
a couple, two, three.
I saw that you posted a video that we did earlier in the year, or before the season, where you were a little bit worried about the Royals, and of course you didn't put the time of the video in the link, so I had to go fix that for you.
Yes,
so I was watching the video, and I remember when we had this conversation, and I was kind of like, You're naming these guys that like are kind of nobodies, and I think My Sox Summer, you probably had the same feeling as me, where like, who gives a fuck about these guys? Right. Like,
he's like, I'm worried about the Royals.
Who the fuck is?
Like, why?
Who the fuck is MJ Melendez, and what Menudo cover band is he in? Right? Like, why do I care? Right?
It's my primo, man. That's my
I get
primo.
to say it. You don't get to say it. You don't get to say it.
My Sox, you can't say that. No, you can't say
Menudo. You should be like, what 98-degree cover band is that? Like, don't give him Menudo. Menudo is like too high, man.
Too big. It's too big, right?
That birthed Ricky Martin. You know, the guy that no one ever.
I said cover band though, baby. I said cover band. So, but regardless, I go back and I'm listening to it, and it was Melendez and now I'm blanking on the other guy's name, the Italian Nightmare.
It was Vinny Pasquantino, but then also Nick Prado, or another guy was in there too. You know,
and so like. And I was like, oh shit! All these guys really stuck it to the Sox this year at different points. So I was
yes,
like,
they did.
it gave me a little more confidence. Like, okay, well, let's see them do some of that to the White Sox. And so that begs the question of the group is, and I'll go to you first, My Sox Summer. But like, what would you like to see him as on a whole? What would you like to see him fix for the White Sox?
So I read Loeb's article, which I know like people are like, oh no, you didn't. You don't even know how to read. No, but I did. And like I especially snuck it in before today because I wanted to make sure, because I knew we were going to talk about this. I'm like, he's going to give me crib notes like while we're like, you know, having this, but like I need to have like a good poll. And my first poll it's the person that we need to really sack the fuck up and like do it. I brought him up in my opening statements in this trial of a podcast, but it's Luis Robert. Like, there's something between the two big ears that this man has on his beautifully chiseled body.
Like, you meant the big ears of Tosar, right? Or no?
I mean, either or. Luis Robert is a beautiful man. And apparently has a $12 million mansion. I learned that on the Sox Talk podcast with a batting cage. So good for him. But like, I need him to lay off some pitches. And like what I have like got into and as I've gone out and listened to other podcasts, they talk about using like different colored balls to like throw in like different things to like learn where you're supposed to go in. And that is something that I think could 100% benefit Luis Robert. We need to turn this guy into the machine that we think he can be, what he should be, right?
Thank you, Baloney.
Like, yeah, cheers, buddy. I appreciate that.
We got to answer this question though.
Yeah, what is it?
So I'll hold it there. Finish your thought.
No, but Luis Robert is the first person I want fixed because I think other guys have it. Like they're closer. Like Eloy's closer, Makata's closer. We need some fine tuning. But the guy I need 100% fixed is Luis Robert because he and I hate to say this because I just railed on people for saying it, but he's underperforming. We need him to like just become a lot better.
So let's get to this question, and then I'll get back to my original question, which you didn't answer. So
I thought I did. What do you want him to fix?
Baloney asked if we're sticking with the Pulp Fiction analogies, which Sox coach has a watch up his pooper? So this is the Christopher Walken. I mean, like, who you got, Beef?
He's gone.
It seems like you got an answer.
Yeah. I mean, it would have for me. It would have been Joe McEwing. Like he's the ride or die, right? I mean, that's like that was the name that came up right away. I mean, out of this staff, I don't know most of it well enough, I think, to really assign it. So I would say it would have been Joe McEwing, but now I don't know.
No.
But I will write a blog about this later in the season, Baloney, when I figure out who I think it is.
See,
okay, let's hold on.
Okay,
Teresa, you go ahead first. You go first because
I was going to say Montoya.
Okay.
I was going to say Montoya because all I hear about Montoya is how good of a communicator and all, like what clubhouse guy, and like everyone loves him. So I could see him delivering the whole speech about people dying of dysentery and having and then giving the watch to another guy. Like I could see that coming out of Montoya. I would love it.
Right. See that? I mean, now Senior Sox has said it, and Chris said it right before that. It's definitely Daryl Boston because we don't even know why he's there. Right? I mean, like, why is he still on this team?
Well, we know, but we don't know.
But like, it's obviously fucking loyalty, and like, he would definitely put a fucking like a watch up his keister. Yep, he'd keister.
He's a rep. That's why.
So what did I answer?
Holistically for the team, what would you want Grafal to fix?
Team-wide, what I would like him to fix, Treasy, 100% is the fly ball rate. Okay. If you could fix one thing team-wide, I would fix the fly balls. The White Sox is that my guy Josh Nelson's a big ball and air guy. I want more ball and air for 2023 White Sox. 2022 White Sox, 23rd in fly ball rate, 35.4%. If Tosar could just get them above league average, 38%-ish, based on 6,000 plate appearances, that's 156 more fly balls, 10-11% fly ball rate. That's 20 more home runs just getting them to league fucking average, and we need more home runs. So I just want him to get enough of these guys to lift the ball just a little more. I don't need everyone to fix their entire fucking swing, just a little more fly balls.
You mentioned fly ball. You mentioned fly ball rate, right? And so this goes right into what I had, which was the home runs, which was because the home runs correlate so closely to this. You said 23rd in the league in fly ball rate. They were 22nd in the league in home runs. And that is in a home run hitting park. Right. They got a small park. They got all first basemen playing in the outfield. The give and take is like, okay, they can't field well, but guess what? They can hit. No, they didn't. They didn't hit the home runs. It's like the car in Good Will Hunting when they show up and he's like, oh yeah, it does not much to look at, but boy, it's solid. It could run. Yeah. It was. This is not much to look at. Also, there's no engine. It's blown out of there. That's right. They're just like, so what am I getting out of these guys? What am I getting out of a Gavin Sheets, right? Like I like Gavin Sheets, and I'm glad to see the progress he's made.
You don't really,
but you're playing outfield when you're a first baseman.
That might be
I want 30 home runs to make up for the shitty outfield you're going to play.
Would you take 25?
There's no question.
I would take 25 any day of the week.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's the difference. That's what we need. We need these guys to hit home runs. This team is built to hit home runs, and they didn't hit home runs. They didn't even put the ball in the air, which is what Beef is talking about. And it's all correlated to one another. Like you put the ball in the air, some of those are going to get out, and that's the whole point.
How did I answer the question, Treasy?
Because
the
next question is about an individual hitter.
The next question is the hitter that you want.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But your hitter choice is terrific, though. I love that Luis Robert's a good choice. So.
It's all right. We'll
he's going back. Don't
worry.
Here's
what I want him to fix most. Do you want me to like? So Luis Robert was my hitter,
yeah.
But the guy I wanted to fix. Well, but actually, I mean, in my brain, and I'm sorry, but I was like, that's who I want fixed the most. Is I want this hitter to get fixed more.
Yeah, that's fine.
But also that my next guy, or like the guy that I think that needs that mental tune-up is Yoel Moncada. I think that he has shown the flashes of the brilliance, and like in his 2019 season before he got the COVID from most undoubtedly Hooters, over in Indiana. So that's probably
is Hooters in Northwest Indiana spilling over COVID.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the NWI Hooters is not a great place to go. But yeah,
is it better than the San Diego one?
I don't know, dude. I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live out west. But like when we'd go to a strip club out west, which was very rarely, I was always very disappointed in the talent and all that. And I'm assuming Hooters is very similar. We didn't go to Hooters. We went to this, like, we supported local sports bars. But mostly because there's just a lot of good looking girls at the grocery stores. You don't really need to go to strip clubs. Like, you can just
Should I cut this off? Hang on. We got a comment from Ian. Yeah. Ian says, Jose Castro is the hitting coach. We're aware of this, but Mike Tosar has a long lineage of helping hitters, high profile hitters, low profile hitters, doing hitting programs, being a special assistant and specializing in hitting. That's why we're talking about this. So we understand that Jose Castro is the administrator of the hitting, but the guy who gets in there and works with the hitters, who was a private instructor of the hitters, was Mike Tosar. That's why we're discussing him here.
And the idea here is that Tosar is coming into the staff, and he's going to be able to kind of oversee all everything that's going on the field and go and say, we need to work on X, or we need to go work with this guy on this. Right. And so like Jose Castro will be doing some of those things for him. And Jose Castro will hopefully be putting together a hitting program for the majors and the minors.
That's right.
But in terms of the saying, like, this is what we need to focus on, I think a lot of that, at least what it sounds like, is going to be Tosar. And Grifal's going to focus on the day-to-day management of the team. And I think that's kind of the idea there.
Yeah. And no, Ian, we're not bagging on you. We're just want to clarify, because you brought up a great point. No, you bring up a great point. That, like, we're talking all this hitting.
It's weird.
It needed to be explained because we're talking all this hitting shit, and it's like you're not even bringing up who the hitting coach is. So you're totally right. I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you for mentioning it.
Thank you for coming through to the podcast tonight. You do a good job over there on the Facebook, and we appreciate that. And I like it. I like seeing you in the chat tonight. You're going to be my thank you later, so stick around.
But this is a strange scenario, and it's something that I like. I like that the Sox are doing something a little bit different, right? Like it's a little bit out of the ordinary. So that's why there's not a lot of times that this podcast would dedicate a large segment to a coach.
No,
but because this is not
maybe if they do something bad, we would.
Right? Yeah, like
but on a positive way, you're right.
Rick Pitino fucking in a restaurant after hours.
We would dedicate
some time to that. In fact, maybe we should do that sometime. But
so you
Coach
guys also
stories too were good.
When we talked about this earlier, though, too, you said that like it won't necessarily be like Tosar like going out and doing the job himself. He's going to identify the problem and then find the people that can actually fix the problem and make it happen. Which is like the wolf, right? Like the wolf, like could say, hey, like we need to
Yeah, he's an idea man.
I know my guy Johnny on 35th will go over there and clean that shit. Like he knows what he's doing. Like we're gonna identify the person that's gonna get the problem taken care of, which I think is also important to like put out there. Like it's not just like him gonna do it. He's gonna be like, listen, this is fucked up. Or maybe Pedro's like, I don't feel comfortable talking to the 8 people to get this fixed. So like, hey, Tosar, go get this fucking fix. And like, if anything, a guy with an ill-fitting like hat and a Tampa Bay Devil Rays jersey knows how to get shit done.
I mean, the fact that we're even having this discussion.
The guy is definitely selling coke out of the back of his Trans Am in the 80s, and it's like, yes, it's working.
Well, not that part, but the fact that we're having this discussion even at all is positive in my opinion. I don't know if this is going to work, but it sounds pretty good to me at this point, right?
They're trying something.
They're trying something. I kind of like it. They're trying. Let's go. Let's see what we got.
They're not going, hey, guess what? We got an 800-year-old coach that hasn't coached in 20 years.
And he's in charge of everything. Good luck.
This seems like at least a better experiment. Since we are getting into the players now, who's a player that you're looking. Actually, first I want to talk about My Suck Summer. So My Suck Summer mentioned Moncada, and I like that because to me, when I was reading the Michael Franco piece, I thought, this is similar. Like this is a thing that like I know Grafal came out and was like, oh, let's get a bunch of walks for Moncada. Fuck that. None of us wanted to hear that. When we saw him be aggressive,
was the 200 strikeouts.
When we saw him aggressive, that was awesome.
Yeah,
very good. And so
that's right.
If they can go that route, I agree. My Suck Summer. That would be because if you turn that guy around, that changes kind of everything.
He had like 2 weeks last year where he was like hitting. Remember when he was like had the yellows and we were like trying to peg it. We were like, and not that kind of pegging pull, but like pegging, like where the yellows with the yellows or the oranges and the pinks. And all
that's
that
like
stuff.
the shoes.
We were like, hey, what's going on here? And you could see it because when he succeeded and he got excited, you're like, this is who I need. I need this man because this guy can run through a wall for somebody, and that's what we need. So yeah, no, I appreciate you guys saying that I have good baseball takes.
Beef, who's your guy?
My guy. I mean, I was thinking about this a little bit, Treasy, and I went down the Miami connection a little bit. And I remember when we talked to White Sox Dave on this podcast about 6 weeks ago. White Sox Dave came on, and we were just riffing on some shit. And he's like, "This guy is tooled out, man. He's a fucking toolbox." And we were all talking about him like we're in awe of the athleticism, but he just hasn't been able to produce on the field. Romy Gonzalez. And Romy sucked out loud last year. 69 WRC plus. Treasy, we talked about he struck out almost every plate appearance. I looked it up. Once Miguel Cairo took over and he was playing every day, he struck out 41% of the time. He walked 0.0% of the time. 0 fucking walks in that last month when he was basically playing every day. Look, I don't know what Tosar would need to do here. But if he could turn him in, and Steamer has Romy as a 91 WRC plus projection. If he could turn him into like a 105 or 110, that's a top 10 second baseman in baseball, right? And his athleticism, he's going to be a plus defender. He's going to be a 3-win player if you could turn that, right? And if you can make those types of changes with kind of these athletic guys that they're bringing up, and they have a bunch of them. Popeye's coming. Lenin Sosa's coming. Like, that would be a harbinger for, okay, now we're going to start actually really developing some talent. So for me, and Teresa, you and I are big fans of like, Romy has prodigious power, but his everything else is fucked up at the plate. Basically.
It's a wild ride. I was just gonna say, like if we go to opening day and let's say Romy gets the job and he comes out there and the leg kick is gone. Not only me and Adam Panayotovich will be happy about it, everyone will be equally happy about it when he stops doing that and the hitting starts. Because I'm not a mechanics guy. Like I can't tell you like, oh, I can tell you like Ken Griffey Jr. had a smooth swing, right? Like that's my level of. But
exactly,
like
me too.
But so, you could see the opposite too, though, right? I mean, like I look at Romy Gonzalez,
something really bad. You're like, that looks bad.
Oh. And the fact that it's coupled with the strikeouts, you're like, yeah, that's probably the problem.
Bless you, Gordo.
Thanks,
Thank
Gordo.
you for the drink. Appreciate it.
Gordo, is that your second fucking drink? What are you trying to do to me over here? You know I'm struggling. What the hell?
Billy Wire says Beef's making Rick Hahn parlays in his head right now. Look, there is potential for upside with the new coaching staff. That's why we're trying to hone in on it right now. What the average person, the average blogger, the average podcaster, the average Twitterer is going to tell you is like, oh, the new coaching staff's great, solves everything. We don't believe that. We're trying to figure out where it could help. And every little spot matters.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? Like, this isn't – I'm surely not looking at this, and you could tell from the previous segment that we don't think that this is the fix for everything. But it could fix things, right? It could fix some things. And so what could those things be?
Trees, you want to hit this comment real quick? Because you and I talked about this kind of off the – so Chris Johnson coming up, he says, is going to be huge for the hitters. We were discussing this as like so Chris Johnson was the AAA hitting coach, and he's had some breakthroughs with some guys, particularly last year, Gavin Sheets. Gavin Sheets stunk out loud, went down to AAA, repaired his swing, came back up. But I think there's a key here with him in the communication. He's worked with a lot of these guys that are on the precipice of being in the majors. And so let's just assume, he maybe some of the magic doesn't all work for everybody. He's going to have the communication of the young kids. And I really like that they're putting a guy in the major league roster that can do that. So I'm pretty happy about him joining the club as well. And thank you.
Yeah, I think there's something here to be said about it. In anyone who's worked in any job knows that there's something to be said for continuity, right? And like, so if you're saying like, oh, we got to reset this org, we're going to get rid of a bunch of people, all those types of things. As soon like a lot of people can go into that situation. You look at let's look at Twitter, for example. Twitter's a good example of somewhere that just cut a whole bunch of people. There's probably people in that organization that are like, yeah, that's fine. They got rid of a bunch of people. I didn't care for those people. But as soon as you hit that person that they really respected and that they really liked, then it becomes a kind of like, what are we doing here? Yeah. You're just cleaning house. You're not paying attention to who these people are, right? And so avoiding that with Chris Johnson, and obviously to avoid that, they had to give him a promotion.
Right, exactly. Keep him in house. That's right.
But that's the kind of thing you do, and so like there's something to be said about the continuity there. I don't like it from the standpoint that like I don't think Grifol probably had any say in it. But Grifol did get to install his hitting coach. He did get to install Tosar as the field coordinator. So This guy's reporting up to his guys. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right.
All right. I guess it's my turn to give you.
It is your turn. Let's hear what you got to say.
And I shit you not. So, Beef, you sent this out
Mancada, huh?
Monday or something?
Yeah.
Maybe earlier.
Yeah.
And I was like, this will be funny. This will be a funny one. I'm going to put Joey Gallo in here. And
yes.
Now it's possible. But it's not just Joey Gallo, right? It goes back to the home run thing. They need to produce one guy, just one guy who's got 40 home run potential. And so Joey Gallo's a nice guy to point to if they were to go make that move. The other guy that you would point to in that kind of thing is Eloy, but I don't know how much work Eloy needs. Like Eloy needs to do like Pilates or something or yoga. Like that's what Eloy needs to work on.
I mean, Eloy's got to work on like staying healthy, but also like at the plate, the only thing remaining that he has to work on is lowering that ground ball rate. He's like 48% ground balls. If it got down to even like league average, he would be an absolute monster.
And that could be it, Beef. That could be like him fixing that with or having that the coaches work with him on that. That could be a game changer. But I think there needs to be a huge home run presence in the middle of the lineup, because if you're going to bring Vaughn along, if you're going to bring Mancada back, if you're going to have, let's say this team decides that Anderson and Robert are like the 1-2 punch, there's got to be some home runs back there, because these guys are not guys that are going to walk. There's not a lot of walks on this team, and you need some power so that people will throw pitches to these guys. Otherwise, they're just going to get straight garbage.
And I think that like Eloy's not a bad pull either, that like to help him with the transition into becoming just a DH versus playing out in the outfield, like reminding him that like, this is what we need you to do. We need you to contribute here, because I mean, that was another thing that I listened to in the Sox Talk podcast. You know, it's like, and Pedro said kind of the same thing. It was just like, hey, you know, these young guys don't want to do that. They don't want to go out there because they don't feel like they're contributing then. They only feel like they're only on this one side of it, you know, or whatever. So like, I mean, that could be your mental thing. They kind of like tweak it just a little bit, right? You know, and just say, hey, you're fine. We just don't want you to end up in the webbings again. We don't need you. We don't need you hanging out there. Okay, guys.
Hey.
We need you out there hitting. So like, just stay here. It's fine.
Right now.
I don't want him at first because I don't think he can do first.
Right now, Eloy is your starting left fielder. Right now.
Yeah. He is.
Currently,
well,
yes.
you know what? You say that, Treasy, but you also know that the White Sox can't do anything until all the big guys are signed. All right, we can't make moves until all the big guys are signed.
Like this big guy.
Yeah, that guy. No, you gotta drop the other one. The other one's better though.
All right, MSS. Why don't you tell us about some merchandise?
So listen, folks, I did not think that I would have to come into like this podcast and say, you know what? You better buy some shit because we're running out, and we are literally running out of crew neck citrus. Now, if you're a plus size, it's mostly your fault that you haven't bought one yet, but like you should do that. We have a good amount of ornaments still left, not because I overbought, but mostly because you can only buy 144 of them. So please come through, buy one. Now, if you buy something, like let's say you're rolling 3X, right? You buy a 3X something. If I have a 3X Christmas sweater, that's in the box. If I have a 3X black and white, you know, crew neck, and you bought the Christmas sweater, I'm gonna send that your way. Senior Socks, I just want you to know, I'm gonna send you a new ornament because your kids keep fucking with yours. I want you to have a nice only you ornament, okay? And that's what we're gonna do.
And a neck massager.
Here's another thing. And boys, how long? I think it's been 6 months, but how long have I been talking about I need to get this shit out my basement? Like a long time,
forever,
right?
baby,
like,
forever. Yeah.
I am no holds bar. Some guy spent $14.99 on something the other day. I filled the box. The shipping was $14.99. Okay, I sent you all this stuff. So please. And also know again, and we've done this, Terezi, at least one time in the last week. When the shipping gets fucked up, because it will, if you buy 6 items, it's gonna get fucked up. The 108 gonna refund your ass. Like, don't even worry about it. We're gonna get that money back in your pocket. So don't be like, oh my God, it's $37 to ship. No, the 108 ain't doing that shit, right? Like, we're just not doing that. Also, we don't have a Patreon. We don't have a GoFundMe. We don't have any of that bullshit. Buy a fucking Christmas ornament.
That's right.
You buy that Christmas ornament, it's free shit, man. We can give you content for free because that's right. Your thing. Now, is it better than a Patreon? Absolutely. You get something. You can put this fucking ornament on your tree, and your wife will be like, "Oh my God, this is horrible." But you're like, "Listen, it's something." Okay.
I'm supporting these weirdos that podcast out of their basement. I got to do it, okay?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's not like I like whittled something and like, here, buy my whittlings. No, it's a legit ornament.
Man, I would like MSS whittling something. How about you, Terezi?
I would love it.
Little
I would love it.
He'd
like
have no Bad Santa making the pickle.
He'd have no fingers left.
He'd be bloody and he would have a pickle. Just like the
I'm going to break out the Swiss Army knife. I'm going to whittle you something to put it right up that keister, just like a watch. So,
that's unnecessary. How dare you?
This is how I get to the From the 108 shop. Go to FromThe108.com. Click on the sidebar ad. Go in there. We have some stuff. We had 12 items. I don't think we're at 12 items or anything. I think we're down to 10. We have 10 items that are marked.
MSS. We got a comment. We got a comment from Billy Wires for you to read. Like, address this, please,
dude. Billy, I will send you a fucking ornament tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I will send Billy Wires an ornament.
Wow.
It will happen. So just
everyone in the comments who's drunk, order your ornaments right now. MSS will send them first thing in the morning.
Usually,
go do it.
He promises. It's same-day shipping most of the time, right. So it will happen definitely. Tomorrow's Friday. I got nothing to do Friday except get high and ship 108 merch. So let's do it, Paul.
Senior Sox is correct. Support Minority Podcast. This is the number one Minority White Sox podcast. Everyone knows that. So just support
Puerto Rican.
For sure.
Just so everybody knows, I'm Puerto Rican.
I'm excited because we're bringing back probably my favorite game that we do
Yes.
on here, and it's this or that.
Yep.
The graphic is
A good one.
tremendous.
Now, if you don't know who those people are, those are the black sheep.
It's black sheep.
You can get with this, or you can get
Or you can get with that.
You can get with this, or you can get with that. That was the original one, not with the fucking gerbils from the Kias. And fuck Kia, get a Mazda.
Kids, I got to report my concoction's almost
my God.
done. So I got to dip into the tequila. So I'm going to finish this, and then maybe one tequila for tonight. That's
Oh,
Godspeed.
that sounds great. Yes.
MSS,
So, hey,
kick us off, man.
this or that. So listen, I run a very successful eBay store on the eBay.
IRS,
And,
stop listening, please.
Yeah, not that successful. I make like $3
Not break
a
even.
year. It's mostly break even stuff. No, so I throw a lot of stuff on the onto the eBay. A lot of things sell. Sometimes it's fun stuff. Sometimes it's boring shit. But this is the game where you get to pick what sold for what, like what sold for more. Okay, first up, we have two things. And last time I did pictures, and then I don't remember there being like a big like people going, oh my God, that was really awesome. You have pictures up there. So I was like, fuck that. I'll go get some good bourbon from my guy B Webb versus make pictures for that. So.
You spent the picture money on bourbon.
Yeah, 100%. No, I spent my time. I didn't
have time for that. I went to the bar.
I got drunk.
So, well, hey,
Got drunk and passed out in Jones Beach.
what are you gonna do down there? That's all you can do. Vintage. So first side of vintage, 1985 from Hasbro. Play School, My Buddy doll. Now, if you're not familiar with the My Buddy doll, My Buddy was the inspiration for Chucky. You remember Chucky?
Oh,
You know, like the guy that's they had this thing called My Buddy. They had that was a knife. Not my
Oh, okay.
my dick doesn't go this high. I mean, it's down here, but come on, not this high.
I thought it was someone else named Chucky. I didn't know. I thought we were going down a different path.
But My Buddy doll has the brown hair and the blue eyes versus Pearl Jam black trucker hat from the 2018 tour that our guy Wally Money bought for me that would not fit on my gigantic dome. So we have a vintage 1985
dong?
my gigantic dome.
Dome. Oh, okay. Dome.
Maybe I said dong. I don't know.
BWC.
It probably would fit on my dong. Vintage 1985 Hasbro Pay School My Buddy doll versus the Pearl Jam black trucker hat.
I mean, I'll go.
Teresa,
I'll go
you go
first.
Yeah, you go
I'll
first,
first,
Teresa.
and I'm going the trucker hat. Here's the thing. Like, I know that people love these vintage toys, and they go for big bucks. But Pearl Jam fans are just pathetic losers that will spend as much money as possible on bullshit.
You've been there. I know.
Teresa, thank goodness you went with that bullshit Pearl Jam hat, because the My Buddy doll is some real vintage shit that someone would pay real bucks for. You know how many Pearl Jam hats are out there? No one's paying anything for that fucking stupid Pearl Jam hat. I'm going with My Buddy. I love My Buddy anyway, but we're going with My Buddy as the higher price item.
I wish I would have known that. I would have dropped it off at your house. The My Buddy doll sold for $43. The Pearl Jam black trucker cap sold for $49.99.
Ah, fuck. It's bullshit. What was retail on that Pearl Jam hat? $52? Did you lose money?
I think it was like $35. So like, I'm definitely splitting the profits with Wally when he listens to this next Thursday. So yeah.
And Brewhand Luke bought it. Right? So
but the guy who bought it was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know I bought it." And I was like, "I know." I thought there was like 14 watchers. Like I was expecting more than my starting price. It's kind of bullshit. All right, number 2, I have a vintage Tonka Turbo Mighty Diesel front end loader metal truck. You know, it's a vintage metal Tonka truck. I don't know if you guys remember those.
I remember.
Versus a 1989 vintage WWF blue wrestling ring from Hasbro. Now, also 3 wrestlers. Now, what's
Who are the
important?
3 wrestlers?
Who are the 3 wrestlers?
The 3 wrestlers.
You got to know, right?
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior,
Yep.
Jake the Snake Roberts. But
Those are good.
no
No
snake.
snake. No snake.
No snake.
Oh fuck!
So
Other
yeah,
than the one in his loin.
All right. Well,
That snake.
Yes, yes. So the Tonka Turbo Mighty Diesel front end loader versus the wrestling ring plus 3 wrestling figures, which were Jake the Snake, Hulk Hogan, and Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, so I'm first. I feel like MSS is trying to bait me because we both, our eyes lit up when it was like, what wrestlers were it? I think he's trying to trick me, so I'm going to go with the truck. I'm going to go with the metal truck because metal truck, usually it's
the metal.
plastic. The metal's the key there, right? The plastic bullshit is everywhere. The metal truck feels special, so I'm going to go with the metal truck.
Yeah, man. I'm with you because like the metal is, but you know what? I want to have fun, and I hate
metal
you.
truck. I'll go opposite of you next time. Your picks suck generally. You pick it with me. That's a smart way to do it. You know, like
I want to go against you. I just like going against you because you're the worst person I know.
How dare you?
Wow. So I'm gonna go Jake Snake. I'm gonna go
Jake. No snake though.
One snake.
Allegedly,
one snake.
Single snake.
Single snake.
All right.
Jake.
I like it. So, Loaf, you took the truck. Teresa, you took the WWF stuff. Now, listen, folks, WWF. If you see anything WWF, you should probably buy it. Vintage Tonka Turbo Mighty Diesel front end loader. Great deal. I picked it up for $3. I hope you're not listening to IRS. Sold it for $75 plus about $25 shipping. Okay,
nice.
Really good, really good deal.
Yeah.
IRS, please continue to mute. The 1989 wrestling ring I found at a nice local thrift store down in Orland Park for $2. And I had the figures that I picked up in other bags for probably like $5 or $6. And it sold for $99.99. So WWF is the win. Parisi, you're up 2-0.
That's a big start.
Man, that is a big start. God damn.
All right, number 3. Now this is some good shit. Loaf, I'm getting into your zone here, so get ready.
Okay. I'm prepared. Let's go, baby.
A Chippendales Mail Review vintage coffee mug. Okay, from the 90s.
This is my stuff.
A coffee mug from the 90s that was purchased at a Chippendales.
Okay.
Which, if you're not familiar with the Chippendales, the audience, it's an all-male strip club.
Now, MSS, is it just like a normal coffee cup?
Yep.
Coffee cup. It's not shaped like 2 big balls or something.
Nope.
Okay.
But does it have images of the dancers?
A dude, yes.
Okay.
A dude.
Right. Just trying to get an idea for it.
Like 90s, okay? It's definitely late 80s, early 90s, flowing mullet with the suspenders over the nipples.
Could have been an Alice in Chains, but muscular, basically.
So, I was gonna say like one of the Lost Boys is over.
No, it's a good
very
call.
Lost Boyish, yes. And we're gonna go up against another relic from the 80s and 90s.
Southside Bum says Chris Farley on the mug? Question mark. I wish.
That would win.
That's the winner right there.
Chris Farley's gonna come into the play later, so just be ready. Okay?
Oh shit! All right.
All right, like vintage 1985 Kenner mask vehicles. I had the truck, the firecracker truck, and jackhammer
It's that
vehicle, which is from Venom, which was the bad mask people. So, like, Loaf, do you remember Mask?
No.
So Mask was like an old, like they were old toys, and part of the thing was Mask was Masters of Disguise. Okay, and like when you had this truck that looked like just a regular old Bronco, you know, that O.J. Simpson would be driving up the freeway. But when you push the button,
I remember that.
Turned into there's a guy with a Gatling gun on the back, and there's like fucking submachine guns in the front, and like all sorts of shit, right? So Mask was a really big toy back in the day. So like, it was from Kenner. Kenner didn't lay any eggs. Okay, they only produced the best toys. So we have 2 trucks, the firecracker truck and the jackhammer vehicle versus the Chippendales May Review coffee mug.
Okay, so the comments are really horny for the truck and everything. I'm first, Treasy, on this one.
Are you first?
I think so. Yeah, because you went.
No,
you're right. You're first.
No,
you went right.
You went Tonka bullshit.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
lost. You're right.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna go with the mask one because
thank goodness
I watch a lot of these like weird. YouTube shows on like old movies and stuff, and like all that kind of nerd shit. And like all of these guys have a hard on for Mask for some reason. I don't even remember it. Like I only know it from this shit.
I don't think
I do not remember it, but like it seems like there's a following. So like I'm gonna say that like people are spending more money than they should on shit that you're finding in the store.
Carmen Mike Sock says G.I. Joe ripoff.
Yeah, I think it was.
No,
they were so little. They were little guys. They were
Billy
little.
Wire says always dick. I mean, I got to go with my guy Billy. Chippendale mug. Because the Chippendale mug sounds so unimpressive and the other shit sounds...
Cheers, Gordo.
Yeah, thank you, Gordo. Appreciate
Thank
the
you,
drink.
Gordo.
And the other shit sounds like it should be so special. I got to go with the mug because it feels like a trap right here.
All right.
I feel
Chippendale's mug, $25. The vintage 1985 Kenner Mass firecracker truck and the Venom vehicle, which is the jackhammer.
Well,
that
we broke up.
1999.
We missed you.
1999.
Yes.
1999. Damn it.
Chippendale, baby.
Terezi, I would have 100% taken the mass vehicles. And the reason why is because, yes, you were 100% correct. Unfortunately, these were best for parts. They didn't have the figure. They didn't have all the things. So, I literally thought I would get $30 a piece. I got $20 for the pair. I was happy to get rid of them.
The Chippendale show. The Chippendale show is driving prices up. Did you
be honest? Carmen Mike Sox and Billy Wires, they were the ones who helped me win this one. So if I win this, you guys get a share of the profits.
Did you look up the person that bought it on like Facebook or Instagram or something to see if they are a very horny?
I did not. But I will say this: I used to buy Sugar Shack mugs, which is a male strip club in Wisconsin.
You gave me one.
Those would sell. Those sell. Yes, I did. Those.
Oh wait,
sell
no,
like
you
crazy.
You kept one at your house. And you said, this is your glass for when I come over. Because you didn't give it to me. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
And I think I sold it because there is a horny faction of eBay that loves those mugs. And the Chippendale mug was no different. They love that stuff. It is very I don't know, it's just early stuff that a certain type of man loves. So I think that's what it comes down to.
Hello.
All right. Next one. Terezi, you're going to be very happy about this. A 9-inch.
Hello.
Ron Lee Clown.
I'm listening.
Hobo Joe. His name is Hobo Joe with balloons.
I'd call it Hobo Joe too.
And it's signed by the artist. It's a little sculpture signed by the artist.
Blind Melon Chitlin.
Versus
a
vintage Umbro long sleeve soccer jersey, which is the goalie jersey. It was yellow, red, and black, made in the USA. So we have, if you're playing at home and you can't see, a 9-inch Ron Lee clown sculpture with balloons versus a vintage Umbro long sleeve soccer jersey.
Beef, you're up.
So I'm first. I'm going to go with the soccer jersey because I know how badly Treasy wants to pick the 9-inch sculpture of whatever it is.
So this is a clown sculpture, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's a clown sculpture. So Beef, you went the soccer jersey.
I went jersey.
Those soccer jerseys go. Those are expensive, but there's creepy old ladies that like to have clown figurines in their house. Do they have money after feeding all their cats? That is the question we're asking here. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say 9 inches. It thwarts
9 inches of Hobo Joe are the number one.
Okay.
The Hobo Joe sculpture from acclaimed clown artist Ron Lee sold for $29.99.
Nope.
The vintage Umbro long sleeve soccer jersey, $35.
Baby, we're back in this. Let's go.
Loaf has tied it up.
All right, but if you ever confuse hockey and soccer again on the number one minority podcast, you're going to be in trouble.
Hello.
I'm just like, sometimes when things sell on eBay that have been sitting up there for forever, it makes me think, yeah, you actually did the right thing. that buying this thing because normally like I'm like, who's gonna buy this stupid clown sculpture?
You
and
did
then I
not
tell it, and I'm like, oh my
You
god.
did not do the right thing bringing a clown sculpture into your home.
Listen,
That's if you left it in your garage or something, I'd be okay with this.
I bought 3 of them, and if I don't sell
So
that other
close.
one, it's gonna be your Christmas present. So be ready.
No,
I'll
geez.
smash it right in your
Oh,
face.
you'll love it. You'll love it. It's such a cute one. Next one, Tim Anderson, a Chicago White Sox team issued mask, neck gaiter from the 2020 season. They had to wear those little masks.
Yeah.
That popped up.
Yeah,
The Tim
yeah, I remember
Anderson
that.
one says number 7 on it. Yeah.
So it's game used.
No, it's not game used. It's team issued.
Okay.
Okay.
He did not wear it in a game, as far
Okay.
as I know. And by looks of the price, I hope he didn't wear it because I got a really good deal if he did. The next, going against a vintage game called Pig Pong. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, there was this little game that you had these little pigs that were like, I don't know, they had, you could squeeze them and they shoot air out of them. Okay. And then there was a little like thing that you like shot over. So it was like ping pong air
Looked
to
like-
push the thing over
Yeah.
to the other side.
Okay.
And then the other person had to squeeze it. It was a very popular game back in the day. Or I remember the commercials anyway. They're like, get ping pong, get ping pong, get in there, and like, so that was why I bought it. Cause I saw it and I was like,
It's
oh
a
my
lot
God.
of explanation here.
Yeah, it really
Look,
is.
Tim
It really
Anderson,
is.
Tim Anderson Gator.
I mean,
All
my
right.
affinity for pigs, I have to go with the pig pong, even though I don't feel great about it, Treasy. I think because the gator's
think
not
nobody
game
knows.
used, gators are just gators. Like I
Right.
don't know that it's that big of a deal, so I'll go with the pig pong. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not Jeff Anderson, Bruhan Luke. That's a very good question though, because Wally might buy you one of those. The Tim Anderson team issued neck gaiter, $25. The vintage pig pong board game from 1986, 1999.
Fuck. God
I love
damn
it.
Chirizi takes the lead. It's up 3-2. Next up, a vintage 1973 Fisher Price little people. They have these little plastic people. Circus train set versus a vintage Nerf Blast-A-Ball with the original box from 1989. Now, if you don't know what the Blast-A-Ball was, it was these little like guns thing that you
Mhm.
pulled this thing out, you pushed it through, the air pops the Nerf ball out, so then you would shoot out this ball. So there was 2 of them in the box versus the 1973 Fisher Price Little People Train. And I think it's your loaf. I think you're
It is.
It is.
It is me, and like I kind of want to go with the Blast-A-Ball, but I like how old the Little People Train is from '73. So I'm gonna go with the Little People Train.
all right.
So it's Little People's Circus Train? Did
Yes.
you say? Did
Yep.
you get canceled for even putting that up on the
No. Fisher
That's a
Price
thing,
is
apparently.
pretty easy, even keeled, unless you're Native American. They
Yeah,
have
Beef-
not really made fun of you.
Beef, I would say that you're probably right there with the Little People thing, but the Nerf like weapons had a heyday. I think it might
they
be
did.
past, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with the Nerf cannonball, whatever.
Okay, so you guys are gonna hate me, but the vintage 1993 Fisher Price Little People Circus Train, 42.41 it sold for. I was also surprised when I saw it. I don't know what the deal was. I don't
That's a
know
weird
why
price.
it went so high. I bought it for $10 and it was in a tub, and I was like, man, the tub's worth $10. Like I can put some more shit in there. And then the Nerf Blast-A-Ball from 1989 in the original box, like with the instructions and everything, $39.99. So it's very close, only a $4 difference, but still, like, yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, bless you. Appreciate that.
So now we're tied up, right? We're tied up.
We are tied up. It's 3-3.
That's correct. Yep.
3-3.
Treasy's pick right now.
Teresy's pick. Now, you guys know I love bobbleheads. These are both bobbleheads. I have a Foo Fighters bobblehead set from their show at Wrigley Field in 2018 versus a rare Chopsecutioner bobblehead, which is a wood-aged beer bobblehead from Terrapin Beer Company that is from Atlanta. And they only released them in the stadium and then online so guys like me could buy them. So we're going with the Foo Fighters bobbleheads from 2018.
Is that a Braves thing then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have the full Foo Fighter set, like Pat Smear, you got Dave Grohl, you got Taylor Hawkins and the other guys that are in the band, and then versus a Terrapin turtle that's dressed like an Atlanta Brave swinging a tomahawk chalk. Like it was a beautiful bobblehead. Honestly, it's a beautiful bobblehead.
I gotta go with the Foo Fighters, just because I assume that like there's a variance in the amount of fans that for the two groups, and that like especially because Taylor's. I assume there was a Taylor one in there.
Yes, there is.
Since Taylor's gone, like I would say, the Foo Fighters one it went for more. That's
okay.
Man, I could not disagree more. The Terrapin sounds extremely rare. So there is a bobblehead group that just wants to collect the rarest things possible.
Yeah.
What about the Art Cave Kushner bobblehead? Who cares about that, right? That's not anything famous, and it's so popular and expensive. So I'm going to go with the Terrapin. I love that. It feels like it's a rare thing.
I like the enthusiasm, Loaf. Unfortunately, Taylor Hawkins is dead. And everything Foo Fighters
I didn't kill him, all right?
Shot right up. Like, no, you did not. But shot right up through the ceiling. Something that I probably couldn't have sold for $150 a year ago. But now that Taylor Hawkins is dead, I sold for $275 plus shipping. That was the Foo Fighters set versus the Chopsecutioner bobblehead, $125. Now, Loaf, I'll give you this.
Those are both
pretty good price. Yeah,
I sold two of the Chopsecutioners in the last like 4 days for $125 a piece. So it's $250 for two. So we're very close. Close. But yeah, I mean, still beautiful bobblehead. I like it. It pains me to get rid of out of my collection, but I don't have a lot of room left anymore. So Loaf has taken the lead.
No, that was Teresy who got that one. So he's got the lead.
Teresy has taken the lead.
Now that's professional podcasting. Just go with it and just boom. Like the enthusiasm, I love it.
Thank you. Next up, vintage 1978 Star Wars action figure.
Yep.
R5D4. Do you remember that, Troy?
I know R5D4.
Okay, so he's the
R5D4
I feel like we had that, Teresy.
So R5D4 is the one that shows up that they buy first in A New Hope, and then it like shorts out and blows up, and then they're like, oh, well, we have to get R2D2 now.
Is that the orange one? Yeah, he's
like red.
Yeah. Yep.
So and he's got like a weird head. It's not round. It's mostly
it's like
squarish, and then
yeah.
They
had
to put the floppy disk back in R2D2 to get him going.
That's right. That's the only way he gets horny.
And he's going up
Allegedly.
against a Glenn Robinson from Purdue University autographed basketball.
I'm first, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
This is perfect because I'm going to let Teresy have his nerdy fucking Star Wars shit because I love the big dog, man. When the big dog was in college, I was in high school, and I wanted my game to be like the big dogs. Unfortunately, the Beef Loaf has almost no similarities to game as the big dog. So I just watched from afar and really enjoyed his game. But yeah, signed on. I mean, like, he's the all-time greatest Purdue basketball player. Like, he was a stud. When he was a freshman, it was like, this is a game changer. Big dog is coming in, you know? So, like, yeah, 100% big dog.
That's tough because so the R5D4 is just like the little toy.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like, perfect mint condition, not yellowed, nothing.
Not packaged, though.
No, not in the package. Oh, my God. No, not in the package.
Not packaged.
In the package, you're talking like $500 to
that's I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a contest. It wouldn't be a contest.
Wouldn't be close, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that it still edges out the Glenn Robinson just because I need to keep up my Star Wars street cred.
All right, there you go. Bad decision, but I like the way that you went. The vintage R5D4, $65 versus the Glenn Robinson autographed basketball, $125.
Sounds
Now,
about right.
when the Glenn Robinson basketball sold for $125, I nearly shit my pants. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, who the fuck just paid $125 for a Glenn Robinson basketball? Somebody in India.
Someone who went to Purdue.
My brain said like $120 because like a regulation basketball, assuming that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like a real basketball is like $60 on its own. Like so
yeah, I mean it wasn't
it wasn't a real one, not a leather ball like a real NCAA ball. Or
it was
anything?
like back in the day, Sam's Club used to sell a bunch of memorabilia. So it was in it, like they would have it there, and like
the comments want to know if Glenn Robinson bought it. MSS.
That's what I wanted. Like literally, when I saw that it sold, my first Google was like, "Did Glenn Robinson die?" That was the first thing I wrote like into the Google, because I was like, he probably just died. Did he just die? Did I just profit off Glenn Robinson's stuff? Potentially, but no. By all means, he's still alive. No, it was sold to some guy that was not Glenn Robinson. All right, next up. Now this is gonna be a tough one. Okay, like you got to bear with me on this one. It's the Rampage AudioVox 4-inch LCD video monitor with a VHS cassette player. Basically, what it is it was a box that was a VCR with a flip top thing with
I remember
LCD screen on. So like if you're out in the field or you're in a car or whatever, you could check tape, right? So it was called Rampage, which was a great video game. But it was also a LCD monitor. You put VHS videotapes into it, and you could watch it on this little screen. Now it was also untested, and I don't know if it worked. That's basically so like, and I put that in the ad. I definitely said untested.
Here's some broken shit.
I don't have it. Like I don't know.
Luck.
I just said not tested and used. Okay, my hands off. Not tested and used.
Used garbage. Enjoy.
Don't know.
Tested was broken.
Now, so you were thinking, what's it going to go up against? Is it going to go up in something amazing? No, not at all. A 2013 Chicago Blackhawks tumbler. Tervis tumbler. You know those tumblers that you see
nice.
at Bed Bath & Beyond?
Those are
the
nice.
ones that are double wall insulated motherfuckers. One of those from 2013 when the Hawks won a Stanley Cup. Chirizi, you are first.
I feel like you're setting me up because it feels like the Tervis tumbler is like a $20 thing, and you're trying to tell me that this thing was like ended up going for like $9.99 because no one fucking wanted your broken shit that you're trying to sell on the internet.
It was both are used. The tumbler's used too.
Yeah, but I think you could test the tumbler. Okay, there's no hole in the bottom.
It definitely has no hole in the bottom.
I'm still gonna go the Rampage thing just because it sounds cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good call.
I was hoping you would not pick that, Treasy, because I think you're probably going to be right. I'm going to go Tumblr because fuck you. All right, I'm going Tumblr.
All right, so the Rampage 4-inch LCD thing, $9.99. I sold it for.
There you go.
The 2013 Chicago Blackhawks Tervis tumbler, $8.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Tracy's so happy
I was
right
so
now.
happy with that one though. I was just like, get this shit out my house. Give me $9. And after eBay fees, I made like $3.72. So like it was great. It was a great purchase.
This is what the eBay hustle's
How you
all
win?
about, making
How you win?
$3.72.
Sometimes you make mistakes.
It's not as glamorous as everyone thinks, MSS. You put some of the high price things out here, but I'm glad you go with some of the lower price ones too to make people realize it's a real gamble, man. You're out there hustling.
Yeah, you
know?
just don't know. You
don't know, right? It's a risk.
I'm still waiting
All
for
right.
some Herschel Walker memorabilia. That's
You know what's funny was I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live out west. But like when I was out there, I dated this girl who was a big Herschel Walker fan, and I bought her a bunch of Herschel Walker like signed memorabilia. This was before he flipped and became the crazy person that you see before you today.
I'm sure. I mean, I only knew about him being crazy in like the past couple months.
He was just the Tyson, he was the Tyson chicken guy at that point. Like he owned a bunch of chicken factories. He raised.
I didn't know about any of this.
He played football.
You didn't know that?
I don't know any of that shit.
After like when he like
Too soon is correct.
I'm sorry. He was on Stern and he was talking about like when he was in the USFL, like he talked to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump was like, "You need to invest in different areas." And Herschel Walker was like,
and he did, apparently.
I like chicken. I'm gonna invest in chicken. And he did. And he bought like he's like one of the biggest chicken suppliers.
George Costanza works for him.
Damn, I'm wondering, is Herschel Walker like worth a bunch of dough?
He has a lot of money. He's just not very smart.
All right, what's up next?
Chicago Cubs floppy bucket hat that came. It was giveaway at the stadium versus a Chris Farley motivational speaker bobblehead.
Who's up first?
Let's see, 2, 4,
I think it's 6. You, Pat.
No, I think I just went.
It's me.
Yeah,
it's me.
Pat. Oh,
I'm gonna go with the Chris Farley bobble, man. How can I not? Like that. That sounds fun. I don't care if it's worth more. I gotta go Chris Farley bobble.
I ain't going against Farley and go, especially with the Cubs. I'm going Farley.
Okay, you both lost. The Chicago Cubs floppy.
I would have bought it. You should have told me.
$25. The Chris Farley motivational speaker bobblehead, $14.99.
Oh my goodness!
I was
so
bummed out.
You should have sold it. You should have sold it in the comments.
No, I was so bummed out, man. It really bummed me out. It's a minor league team out of Wisconsin. Yeah, no, $14. I was really bummed out.
So I'm seeing Herschel Walker net worth is wild in range. I've seen some 10 million, and I've seen up to $70 million.
Wow,
in various reports. So yeah, good for Herschel. Like I still think Treasy. I mean, we were big football fans when the trade went down, when Dallas traded them to Minnesota, and that's how Dallas built their franchise.
Yeah,
I still think he's like shell shocked from that. Like he's like, man, I was the pawn in this game for these guys to build this franchise. I feel bad for him from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's kind of lame.
It's fucked up, right?
Next up, vintage Colorado State University, an authentic football jersey that I found at a thrift store on the south side of Chicago, which is just insane. Versus a Jay and Silent Bob vinyl bobbleheads.
Is it me first?
It's you first, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Jersey. I feel like the Jay and Silent Bob bobbleheads feels like there's a billion of them. Like that doesn't especially when you said vinyl, like that sounds cheap to me. Yeah. It just makes it feel like there was 18 billion of these made and they're in a thrift store everywhere.
Man, it's tough because I'm down one right now. We don't have many left.
Nope. We don't.
I kind of agree with Treasy's thesis, but fuck him. We got to try to take the lead. I actually tie this up. So I'm going to go with Jay and Silent Bob, even though I don't really believe it. It feels like the jersey's too much of a shoe-in because you said, I can't believe I found that on the south side of Chicago. Like you baited us to go in that direction. And Jay and Silent Bob, I'm going to go in the opposite.
I like maybe Glenn Robinson bought the Colorado State jersey.
Like
Big Dog is his biggest client on eBay.
I mean,
he's just a personal shopper.
When do you see a CSU jersey on the south side of Chicago and it's Russell, like athletic? I mean, it was legit, like Mountain West, like patch on and everything. I'm like, this is literally somebody's fucking
Good night,
jersey.
William. Sleep tight.
Good night, Billy. $35 for that Buffs jersey, or not Buffs, the Rams jersey. $29.99 for the bitch. Jay and Silent Bob bobbleheads.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That's how we win it.
All right, so Treasy is up 1 or 2.
He's up two right now.
He's up 2.
We only have 2 left, right? Is that right?
1, 2. Yeah, we have 2 left. We have 2.
25 left.
All right,
2 left, and you're up 2. So
you got to get both these. First up,
I promise I will not pick what you pick here.
Okay.
All right,
I'll keep it.
Give us a chance to
keep it going.
Yeah, give me a chance to tie. All right.
First up, the 2002 Microsoft Xbox version Rally Sport Challenge for display only video game. Now, this is
FDO.
Xbox. Yes. Yep. See, you know what it is. FDO. There is a group of people that collect for display only video games. And this is an original Xbox video game that we got from our guy, Polish with Onions. And or I got from him, not you guys, just me.
You told us the story. You were extremely drunk when you did, though.
I did. And
whoa, that never happened.
It was stole on the eBay versus A Christmas Story, the most fabulous Christmas movie ever created, that plays on TBS 24 hours a day on Christmas Eve. Advent calendar. So I'm
gonna go with that rare video game that no one's ever heard of, because our dad came over. We're celebrating Mom's birthday this past weekend. He comes over and he tells us about a guy who had a Mike Tyson's Punch Out still in the box that got rated like a 10,
Man.
and the shit was worth like six figures, like ridiculous shit. So I'm gonna go with the rare video game in mint condition.
Everyone open those. Yeah.
Everyone open them. Exactly. That's the idea, right? You know?
So Beef, this is just mean that you're making me go pick the Christmas Story thing. But I think we both hate that movie equally.
That movie sucks. Yeah, that movie
that's a trash movie. But so I will say.
But if you win on it, it'll be sweet, Trees.
I'll say Christmas Story bullshit, because a lot of people like that thing.
Yeah. So here's the deal. The Rally Sport Challenge Xbox game sold for $23.63. Okay. And the Christmas Story Advent Calendar, which you can find at Aldi for $44, sold on eBay by me for $21.50. So yes, the Rally Sport Challenge barely beat the
That's
Advent
a big
Calendar.
Disappointment all around.
It's all coming down to this last one.
All right, so here is the last one. Treasy, you're first in this one, right?
Yep.
All right. So we have to do this. It's a Chicago White Sox thing. A Chicago White Sox Mini Minoso Hall of Fame bobblehead that they just sold this year for Sox charities versus a Chicago White Sox Sox Fest 2013 Greg Luzinski Sox Fest bobblehead.
So the Luzinski one has had time to make its own market, and people wouldn't overpay for that one yet.
Kind of.
So unless it's really rare, but you've never had a big hard on for something about Luzinski. So I don't think that's like a big rare one. So I'm going to say it's the Minoso. You got in there early, and someone was like, yeah, I need this shit. I'll give you $60 for it.
Okay.
I mean, I got no choice to try to tie it up. I got to go Luzinski, even though I agree with Treasy's logic.
All right. The Chicago White Sox Mini Minoso Hall of Fame bobblehead that just was released this year by White Sox charity. The fastest selling White Sox charity bobblehead ever that I know. $125. The Greg Luzinski Sox Fest bobblehead. Brand new in the box from 2013. $150.
God, I can't believe it.
Did we tie?
That's a tie, right?
It's like kissing your brother. You just tied. How did this even happen?
No, thank you.
I should have went 15 on this, and I didn't. And
so MSS,
tied.
the tiebreaker is we're gonna do the thank yous now.
All right. Hey, hold on, because I have to take a whiz. So you guys, you filibuster for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
He's got a 5-second piss. He's got to do. All right.
Go with. I'm not gonna do the thank yous.
Yeah, the tie feels unsatisfying. I kind of almost wanted to pick your same pick because I feel like you dominated me in this thing. I think I got lucky at the end that you wouldn't pick the one I did, and then I got a chance to pick the opposite of you.
So do you feel like we need video of MSS in these thrift stores? Because I feel like the things that he's going after, I think there should be a lot of people that kind of want these things. I think he's knocking people down and shit and taking them. Like I think I can see him like walking through and like someone's got like a cart full of stuff and he just like looks around and fucking runs off with the cart. Like I think that's his game.
I tried to explain to him, like, you on camera anywhere is a good idea. Like, just do live videos, whatever. He doesn't want to give away the shit that he's finding or little like edges he has in the thing. So like, he doesn't want to do it for these. And like, for a little bit, I remember he was doing some videos showing that, but he's lazy, so he stopped doing it. You know how he does. You know, he gets, like he claims he goes to the gym and he was like Joe Fitness, but like he really is just sitting on his ass doing stuff. And do you
think he just goes to the gym and stands outside and watches people work out? Like I feel like he's eating an ice cream cone and watching people work out.
I think so. I mean, like,
and just rubbing his belly.
He might get on the machine, but it's just to look at the actual beautiful people that are working out. He's just kind of like hanging out there, just making sure he's in there.
He's in like a full spandex like Running Man bodysuit, but he's just it's possibly expanding too much.
Beer Garden Jim says he just takes pictures at the gym and doesn't do anything. He did not take the picture of Rick Hahn just drinking coffee, not doing anything. Just for the record, okay, it was someone else. And White Sox Ken says, I would watch MSS Storage Wars. So we offer to put up money to get him on Storage Wars. Our own personal money.
This is not bullshit. We said we would give you a bankroll if you go do Chicago Storage Wars.
Because he'd be amazing at it. Like, he would be absolutely terrific. Because the personality obviously is there, and then he'd be making deals and shit, and he'd be getting into it with the other buyers. Like, it would be some of the best TV there is possible.
MSS, we talked so much shit about you because we know you don't listen back to these.
That's right.
I know. You'll never know what we said.
Maybe I will.
You'll never know what we said.
Nah, you won't.
I just heard Storage Wars. I see Storage Wars everywhere, so you brought Storage Wars.
We did not bring it up. The comments brought it up.
The comments brought it up, so we talked about it.
All right.
That's it.
I was talking about you eating ice cream. This is totally
I literally.
Allegedly.
How many times have I ever had to go take a piss during a show since I started the bourbon regime? Like
it's pretty rare. Yeah, it's pretty rare.
But we are over 2 hours. We're over 2 hours. This will be
about our last 2 hour show other than Festivus.
Time for the thank yous, guys. Give me a couple thank yous or GFYs.
Yeah.
Bless you.
They're always open. My Sox Summer. Give me your thank yous.
So my first two thank yous are first to my guy B-Web for always hooking me and my guy Terezi up with some good bottles of bourbon. He hooked us up today. Great.
Did he hook me up too?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
you got to pay me, for the bourbon. But yeah, we got you. I was like,
I heard it's on the house. MSS. Thank you.
He did not.
My thank you is you for buying me that
for buying bourbon from.
Oh, what a sweet guy! With all that eBay money we just heard about.
My second guy is Shane Spagnola, the Irish mare. The biggest, the racehorse in the fact. He sent me a bottle, this little bottle here of Elijah Craig rye, which is delicious. I didn't even know. Like, I was drinking so much of it. That's great. Plus, Christmas gifts for my daughters. I mean, this guy's insane. Nice. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to our guy Dougie Fresh, who has made you and he's made Treasy and I a gift for the next 12 days, and a 12-day advent calendar that could potentially kill us. So I'm going to pick that up on Saturday. So get ready for that because it's going to be fun. It's going to be insane.
PCP chowder?
I love Dougie Fresh because he and I, with the 108 Weight Loss, we've been sharing DMs about fasting because we're both in on the fasting.
Yeah.
Thing, so
he's a big fan.
He's doing great. Dougie Fresh is in the top 3 right now.
I also want to thank.
I can't believe we're going to do PCP. I am so excited for this.
I also want to thank Dougie Fresh because he excluded Loaf because Loaf is a penis eater, which seems to be the biggest thing on Twitter right now. And last minute thank
Nothing
you
wrong with that beef.
To Ian Eskridge. Like, thank you for showing up in the chat tonight. I know you said that you fucking listen and do all that shit, but my God, thank you for coming through. Like, I love reading your comments. Alex Rude, same deal. Like, just coming in there, popping shit out. I know you're doing some good shit on Facebook. I appreciate it. I see your shit all the time. Like, thank you very much for putting that out there.
Absolutely. Beef, who are you thanking?
Man, I love MSS's group of thank yous. My thank you is a single thank you, and I'm thanking John Breeding. And you're like, who the fuck is John Breeding? He is the inventor of the card game Let It Ride. And that is the game I plan to dominate this weekend when Treasy and I are in Las Vegas. Treasy, that is where I'm going to increase my net worth. You probably too. We'll do it together at the Let It Ride table, so I can't wait to go to Vegas. We leave tomorrow. We're going to be out there the weekend.
Oh my God.
There's going to be some YouTube shorts coming out, and we got a big 108 announcement we're going to do on YouTube shorts. So all of you that are 108 fans, listening to the podcast, people who are still watching here, check out YouTube shorts. We're going to be doing a big announcement on there while we're out in Vegas.
I better tune in because I don't even know what you're talking about.
You know what we're talking about? You just don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
You don't. You were asleep. So, my thank yous this week is to two guys, and I this is an easy thank you for me. This is Yumper and Svo. Thank you for having me on the show this past weekend. If you guys aren't familiar with their show, it's awesome. They do a movie show. Yumper and Svo at the show. You could go check it out on the Tainted Glove YouTube, and it's on all the regular podcast places too.
Yeah.
But we went long form on Star Wars.
It was great. I enjoyed it. It was really good.
Nerd shit, and like just getting a chance to, it's always interesting to talk through things that you love that much with another person or other people that love the same thing, but maybe for different reasons.
Yes.
It's always very cool I'll give you an example. My least favorite Star Wars movie was Svo's favorite. So like that's the kind. So it was a great conversation. Like I said, it's long form, and I'm just hoping that like
one of my favorites.
Once Yumper finishes watching Andor, that maybe they'll have me back on and we'll talk about the TV shows. But thank you to those guys. I had a great time doing that.
Awesome.
Yeah, that show was awesome. I watched it live, and it was a lot of fun. Those guys know how to do long form because they give information, and then they also like to have fun with it, kind of like we do here, except they don't get as drunk as we do.
No,
I gotta try and get them to do that. The next time I go on, I'm gonna come up with some Star Wars drinks to be like, you got to drink these.
I want to know how emotional.
This looks like blue milk, but there's PCP in it.
That's
Like Svo would get so emotional when he gets drunk too, right? He'd be like, I just love you. I love this. I love that. There's a lot of love going on with Svo.
That'd be tremendous.
All right, fellas, it's only been about 2.5 hours.
We've crested the 220.
This is a long one for us. We haven't been going this long, and I appreciate everyone tuning in and staying on for the whole thing and wondering how my suck summer hasn't gone to jail for how much he's selling on eBay and not paying in taxes.
I've been audited.
We will talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot.